Oh no,
Oh
it
no,
hooked in.
no, it's there. Yeah, but we're
I
not
just
live.
click go live.
Hmm.
All right, we are live. Welcome to Ursine Combo Lab Audio. This is a product of the FGC at UCLA. And today we're coming at you with our EVO discussion. Um, in Streamlabs here, I can go to the podcast intro. Very important to play our very important intro here. So today I am joined by Storm Claymore and Karushi. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty good. Glad to be here.
awesome. So today we have a spectator, myself. We have a competitor with Storm Claymore, and we have a insider with Karushi, who helped run events. So we should be able to see everything from all angles.
Yes, and Stormclimber also bracket ran
Yep.
multiple tournaments. So
That's
Yep.
rad. Okay, so I think it makes the most sense just to start with the reveals. That's why everyone goes to Evo and watches Evo anyway, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Okay,
yeah.
maybe there's some video games going too. I don't know. But we'll start with the reveals. Um, so I guess first off, I've already got it queued up. So there was some Mortal Kombating. I think this game's shaping up to look better than it has any right to be. Um, they kind of are. They basically did a big old reboot, and in the reboot, everything is like a little kind of more grittier and ground level. I like that. So everything they show, like I think here they showed two new characters or three new characters. There's the guy who stabs people with his arm bones. There's Reptile, and there's some Sarah Angel lady. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's all looking pretty good. Did these character reveals make you guys any more likely to at least pay some attention to the game?
um, okay, if you don't mind, I'll go first. Storm Claymore.
Go ahead.
I honestly, so I remember when they were playing these reveals in the arena, and I had gone out to stand up and get my legs a break. And the minute I noticed it was MK, I pulled out my DS to play Bleach Dark Souls. So, I'll leave it at that.
Notable Mortal Kombat hater, Karushi Drive. Probably not going to be won over by the even more extreme violence that MK1 seems to be trucking in.
Okay, to be fair, like I don't even know what I can hate on about the game other than the presentation of it. Like, cause I haven't really played MK, so it's not like Strive where I know how to hate on it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
MK, I pretty much hate on it from the surface level, which is the way it's presented, and otherwise, I have no clue what's going on in that game.
I don't think that. I think that's fine. You can't play every game. You just can't. So
True.
sometimes you just hate stuff. What about you, Storm Claymore?
Um, yeah, I've paid attention to the development of MK1. I think it's really exciting. I've had my gripes with like MK, like the Mortal Kombat series, like since MK11. I think like, as someone who's also invested in the story, I think, it's a little wacky so far because they're, bringing in like this rejected storyline that was initially going to be there since its inception, but I think it's a very weird direction. Like for example, Baraka's I guess race is not like an actual uh, like a community, but instead it's like Mortal Kombat AIDS, which is weird.
Yeah, he's a zombie person now.
Yeah, it's weird. But other than that, yeah, I apparently what Sonic Fox has said, they actually increased the dashing speed compared to Mortal Kombat 9, which is very exciting to hear because now it's not only just there's more combos, it's also like it's also very fast paced. The presentation looks very nice, but again, my skepticism is that it reeks a lot of MK11 vibes. But it, yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty great game, but for me, I'm not pre-ordering it all. I already learned my lesson. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I pre-ordered MK11 day one, and I tried it. I didn't like it.
Oh no.
Uh, a year later, when Aftermath came out, I was like, maybe I'll give it a second chance. Nothing has changed, and here I am, just kind of excited, but not too invested.
Well, I think tentatively excited is pretty good for Mortal Kombat. That's maybe the best we can do. Uh, so yeah, I mean we'll see, right? We'll see when it drops, but I think it's interesting that they're throwing their hat into the ring with the big three, right? It's like who pulls down all the FGC money? It's MK, Tekken, and Street Fighter, and they're all coming out within a year of each other. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so moving on, let's go to let's give Kurushi whiplash, and we're gonna talk about another reveal, the Uni 2 reveal.
Ooh.
So it was finally revealed that the what is it, the Infinite Knight or something like that? is
The
going
Hollow
to-
Knight.
Yes, is going to have that too, number 2.
Hollow Knight. Man, they could have just chosen another name.
No bugs here. So, Kurushi, take it away.
Yeah.
How do you
yeah,
feel? I'll prime you. How do you feel about this? I mean, Korea already let us know this was going to happen, but go ahead and let me know your feelings.
Yeah, regarding that, the timeline completely checked out. It was about the same timeline as it was for Uniclair and also Multi-Load Type Lumina. So French Bird definitely operates on that sort of announcement timetable. Now, we spoke on the previous episode of Ursine Combo Lab Audio that it was actually pretty likely that this game would be revealed at EVO, given the Korean leak, Korean ratings board leak, and then we knew a little bit later that Kamone would be in attendance at EVO, and that alone I think was enough to say, all right, there's going to be something announced. Yeah, he wouldn't bother showing up to EVO without something to say because he didn't even go last year, by the way. So I think it was pretty clear that there was going to be something announced. Okay, that aside, right? The way it was announced, I wasn't too happy with it because several people were not even inside the venue at the time they chose to announce it, Arc System Works, and they decided to announce it through a Twitter post, and then later they uploaded the trailer to YouTube.
Can I say, can we just go on an aside on this? This is the second year they've been doing this shit. So every EVO since like time immemorial, they would have a top 8, and then the people who controlled the game would come out and they would announce something. That's what I'm used to, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know why, but ever since they started the pandemic EVOs, they're like, hey, it's 9:46 on a Sunday morning, you know? Let's run 2 Chipotle commercials, and in between, we'll announce Street Fighter 7.
Yeah, it's so silly, dude. And I'm honestly even more appalled that Grand Blue Rising was announced at the timing they chose, when we basically everything they said in that trailer we already knew. Not only that, it was after Marvel 3, which was just
Yeah,
the
we're
most
talking about the
awkward-
mix-up, the real mix-up.
Yeah, the real mix-up was like everyone was like, okay, it has to be MVC4, right? And then suddenly Grand Blue Rising director comes out, and people had to not demonstrate that they were disappointed, but
Who wants to not kill themselves?
yeah, and also like avoid the what's it called, the public humiliation of the person that came out, because you don't want to boo the person. It's not their fault that the expectations were not quite met.
I mean,
But,
100% they were told to go out at that time, right? But why
They
is
were.
EVO doing this? Why is EVO like, hey, we got 5 minutes. come
Yeah.
announce your trailer.
And they should have done it during the Grand Blue Rising tournament that happened the prior day.
That makes a
I don't
ton
know.
of sense. That's when all of your customers are watching the stupid stream.
Exactly. So to me, that says that Cygames definitely paid some money or something. I don't know, dude. It's
To get
messed
the
up.
Marvel views.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and I mean, obviously, Arc System Works is in complete control of publishing for Uni 2. So maybe they decided that, okay, we don't want it to get the spotlight on Sunday because we want to announce our Strive stuff. And by the way, I have a lot to say about how Arc System Works has treated Uni in the past couple years. It's actually been ever since COVID, in fact, that they've treated it as a lesser child, which is understandable, right? Because it's not their game; they're just the publisher. But literally, ever since Strive has been a phenomenon, they've they've blatantly given Uni 2 a less prioritizing treatment. It's unfortunate too because, like, I don't want to like call it sabotage, but it almost feels like they're afraid that they're competing against themselves by helping with publishing Uni, when in fact, like that sort of competition is like very healthy in my opinion. You know,
Why do you think Uni 2 is back with Arxis after Melty Blood showed they could survive over here?
right? And yeah, what's up, EGP? If you're watching the stream, I think the main reason is the relationship they kind of had already. Specifically, I believe Kimona and I can't remember the guy's name, but you see him quite often in the PR stuff for Guilty Gear, anything related. But I think those two have a good relationship, and I actually have a photo from during the Melty Blood Type Lumina top 6 where those two were speaking with each other, and they were not in the crowd, mind you. They were just watching from afar like an ordinary spectator. But I think those two have a strong relationship, and that's probably what's held together Arxes and French bread. But that, you know, of course, that's like I'm that's a bit of a stretch, right? Like it's not completely in line with like, okay, this is the reason, right? Uh, I think Arxes thinks that it fits well with their overall anime brand, which is why they are willing to continue helping out, and obviously they get a good cut of the money that comes from it. Not to mention that everyone kind of has an inkling that whatever the next uni is, whenever it would happen, if it had rollback, then it would be like a major success. And given that in 2019 uni was a phenomenon in the anime fighting community, it could very easily even surpass that with with the like, you know, with
Well,
the
we'll have to
circumstances.
see. We'll have to see. I'll get more of your
Yeah,
thoughts because you ran a special event, like you let people come play Uni, right? And you played
that's
it
right.
yourself. So I'll get more of your thoughts in a second. Storm Claymore, how'd you react to the Uni 2 trailer?
I think it was pretty impressive because of now it's coming out with rollback. And I don't know because it looks just, I mean, you can correct me, but it just looks the same. Like it's like I'm looking at the same thing, but then there's, I guess, new mechanics. It's like a Rev 2 to like a, you know, Guilty Gear Exard, or you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, to me, it's
Um
exactly like Blaze Blue Central Fiction. Like, they didn't update the sprites for all four Blaze Blues, they just kept adding stuff.
yeah.
And
And
then in the
it's like
last
what?
one, they added rollback, and it's like, that's really what it needed.
Yeah, it's like a 10-year-old game. I just came from the PS3. But you know, like, yeah, it's like, you know, more new characters, more new mechanics. Um and the layout is, you know, super different now because there's, you know, like if you were to compare like the character select layout, you can tell that there was artistic intent versus like, oh, we're actually gonna expand the, you know, the roster. And you know, some people were just like very unhappy with that, you know, direction because they just understood that, hey, we're just gonna, you know, just make new slots and it's just gonna be the same generic thing. We're making it esports ready, which, to be fair, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be
BlazBlue
esports
did that
ready.
too, unfortunately. Took away
Eh.
the grid, the circle, and made a grid, but such is life.
But other than that, I'm glad it's going into a better direction. Yeah, I personally tried getting into uni. Mechanics still don't make sense to me sometimes. But I like the characters. You know, I play Wagner, cool character. But other than that, I, it looks good. To, you know,
So, what do you think about the game itself so far, from what you played, Karushi? There's not
There's a
much
lot
to
I have to
jump
say.
on.
Is yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a lot to say as usual. There's a little bit I'll add as comments to what Storm Claymore said, but I'll try to integrate it smoothly. The game is a new game. Looks can be deceiving. I'll say that already. the story is a continuation of the previous one. In fact, it's known already that what we have about the story in the previous versions of Uni is not even the actual story. It's like the prequel. And we're going to get the real story in Uni 2. So that is an important distinction, but of course wasn't well conveyed in the trailer, right? There are going to be new characters which weren't playable in the demo, unfortunately. One of the main things that was noted is that they re-recorded all the voice lines for every character, and they re-recorded all the music. And they also redid some of the stages. So not only do some stages have a different hue, like a different color palette, but they also just straight up remade them. So there's some like different objects that you can perceive in the footage that's around on YouTube right now. Anyway, the gameplay, right, at the demo. Arxes had a booth for people to be able to play the demo. The lines were pretty long for them, but I got a chance to play them on Friday mainly. And as was hinted at earlier, the gameplay is quite similar to Uniclear. It iterates upon it. So everything that a player would have in terms of knowledge and skills from Uniclear would easily transfer over, and that's like a French bread staple. They try to not make things completely get overwritten in the new version, so I think that's a good thing. And then they added a couple new mechanics such as a universal roll. It's very similar to a KOF roll, but it has like a uni twist with all the grid mechanics that are integrated into that. And then they have changes on guard thrust, which is the guard cancel. The big one is Celestial, which this gets a bit too nerdy, but I'll try to keep it brief. Basically, if you win the cycle, the grid cycle, and you have half of the blocks that are possible to have, then you automatically get all of the blocks, which is nice for getting a wealth of meter when you use the chain shift mechanic. But yeah, overall the game feels great. I tried Nanasa's new moves, which a lot of characters got new moves. Nanasa got only one new move, and it feels like it could be very easily incorporated into her game plan and will expand her strategies overall. It's actually kind of a carbon copy of Milia's tandem top, so it'll be really cool to see what people can do with that move. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Got a chance to play Kimone as well. Played on the Arxene stream. Yeah,
So
it was. Go ahead.
it's sounding like it's more quality Uni. They didn't add auto combos or strive it or anything like that. So
Good old Uni, which is
it's rare.
a breath of air. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, for
everything's
real.
changed. Every fighting game has changed, except for old anime fighters, I guess.
It's interesting, right? This is a 10-year-old game, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels pretty modern, and I think they've done a good job with that. Of course, the sprites still look kind of like 2012, but otherwise, the game feels great.
That's its charm. Okay, so next up, I don't think there was any footage related to this, but we know that we're getting a KI update. So we're getting a Killer Instinct update. I think they said that they're going to fix, I don't know if it's currently playable right now, but I know there's some server troubles. And then there's also going to be like a balance patch and stuff like that. So that all sounds pretty good to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
What do you guys
so
think?
yeah, they're updating the balancing and also upscaling it to 4K with the Xbox Series S and X, so that's pretty dope.
4K, nice.
Yeah,
Nice bonus.
4K. They're gonna catch you losing on 4K.
Okay, so we've got some like diehard Killer Instinct adherents in the channel, so that's good news for those guys. I guess we haven't really heard that much yet, and it wasn't like there was a trailer or anything like that. So we'll just keep moving right along. Next, we got some Grand Blue versus Rising news right on the tails
Wait,
of.
wait, before we move on, I
Oh,
just
yeah?
want to make one more note is that Iron Galaxy, the devs, are coming back together in 10 years. That's amazing. That's like, yeah, that's amazing.
Like that they managed to find them all and put them back in.
That I don't know.
But yeah, it's still pretty cool that they managed to get some original people that worked on the game, so that's good. All of the like old retrofitting of the Arxis games were like one guy. So to actually balance and everything like that, yeah, you need the team back together. So next up we got some news from Grand Blue Rising. we heard that, I mean, I don't. The tenor of Grand Blue has changed slightly with this new version. For one thing, heading into Evo, it was announced that the simple inputs will have no downsides. Uh, that was a tweet, so we don't know the full details. Maybe there's something, but so far it seems like there's no downsides. Then we also heard there will be a free version where four like Gran and three characters will rotate, so you don't have to buy the game. But then you can't like play in rooms or something like that, so you won't be able to play with your friends. You'll just be able to grind online, I guess. And there's some new characters and stuff like that. So I'll put my opinion here first. I think Grand Blue's trying really hard. I don't know if they're always making the right decisions. I think I always felt like this series should court their single player fans who play the gacha with just like more characters and more single player stuff. I don't. They keep adding mechanics, which was like not its charm. It was never like a complex. You know, you have to think of these 40 different options. Fighter, but it's gonna be, I guess. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I'm having a little trouble getting excited. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can go first. And hello there, Zenroku. I you know, uh, I've been watching from afar because like I'm not really big on Grand Blue, not as an IP nor as a game, but I've been watching from afar, and I don't really think they know what they want to do. It's similar to Strive, how it felt before it released. It feels like they're trying to reach a number of different audiences, and they're not doing a good job of drawing in any one particular audience. Now, I will admit that the party game stuff does look fun, but that should be its own game, which is not a good. That's not a compliment, Um, the fact that they're putting this in a fighting game, I think, is showing the cope pretty much. Like they're admitting that you're gonna need this in order to enjoy yourself in this game, which if it's well incorporated into the overall video game package that Grand Blue Rising will have, then I'll retract my statement that I just made. But overall, I'm not super enthused, and this is even without regard to the simple inputs whole kerfuffle that's been going on with it. And I feel like an experienced Grand Blue player can give more comments and insights on that. But for me personally, it doesn't catch my interest. I don't think I'll be playing it, but good for the Grand Blue fans, I guess.
Yeah, with respect. Oh, hi everyone. I'm Zenryoku here.
Hi, Zen.
Hey.
Yo, what's up, gamers? So to like go off of what you were saying about the Fall Guys mode, dude. If you were there at Evo or like saw the live reaction, you would have heard that there was like generally way more fanfare and like crowd reaction to the Fall Guys mode footage as opposed to the regular game footage being shown. So I think that speaks to the sort of I guess separation of interests of those two main things. I think it's interesting that they're going to be launching with like a surprisingly feature-rich free mode or free version, which has access to like online games and stuff.
No player rooms though.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So that's an interesting choice, I think, because you think most people that would be willing to put the money into the game to learn it would want to play with their friends, right? So if they can't experience playing with their friends in the free version, then that's kind of except for maybe the Fall Guys mode, maybe. But there's only so much footsies you can practice in the Fall Guys mode.
Yeah, it may be a way of forcing people into lobbies. All the anime fighters always try to have their weird lobby idea.
I think we're missing something. I think it didn't make it better when when the Grand Blue presentation was after Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was sad. Like I know a lot of
Yeah,
people
we
out
should
there
talk
were on
about
the
that. That was whack.
We already
Yeah,
hit
I know
on it,
like
but
a
you
lot.
guys were actually on the ground floor, so you can go ahead and relate your experience. The lights go down. UMBC 3 has just finished the worst god awful set in the history. Okay, I'll skip
Oh,
that
Zero
part.
May
It
Cry,
just
man.
finished, but there's hope. A new reveal trailer. Oh my god! And then what happened? Zen, were you ready for MBC 4? Did you feel it happening?
Man, I mean, it was you could physically feel the drop in energy after the announcement was to be revealed to be like a Grand Blue.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I mean, like you could feel all the energy and the tension built up just dispersing in like the lamest way possible, basically. No, okay, not the lamest way. Like Grand Blue's fine and all, but like, what a weird place to put it. You know, um, with all the expectations and everything.
yeah,
Um,
we'll reiterate, Evo, if you're listening, if you're watching, put the reveals back with the games. Don't put them with random games.
I think it's also weird that for the announcements for the other games, it was actually before the top six. Like Tekken got its reveal before top six. Same for Guilty Gear and Street Fighter. So
Yeah, Street Fighter maybe it makes sense because they went to 11 or something like that. But they went to 11 because they put the reveal in the middle.
There was a lot of issues with the arena finals this year. Let's
Okay,
be
we'll
real.
get there. We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
to our top sixes soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
we'll keep on the reveals for now. So we're gonna keep on moving. Next, we got some Tekken character reveals at this year's Evo. We got Raven is back. Not that Raven. That's my Raven or that's so Raven. Sorry, I didn't grow up with this show, but you guys know what I'm talking about. We got very angry Raven back, and then we got Coffee. Everyone loves Coffee.
Azucena.
Coffee, the character.
Coffee the character. How do you feel about Coffee the character, Tekken players?
Azucena, Milagros, Ortiz, Castillo.
Wow,
Oh
that's
my
impressive.
god.
I love the design. She's definitely looks super annoying to fight with that stance that dodges everything. Unfortunately, it did get leaked. Harada kind of acknowledged that the whole base roster got leaked. So if you're one of those people who don't like getting it leaked, be careful. They're out there. But I love the new characters. I guess Raven's a returning character. But
He's
it's
a little
pretty cool.
juiced up though.
Yeah, we finally get to see an original Tekken 8 character, which we haven't seen. It's really weird that it took like what over a year.
It
for
is a
them to
little
finally
strange that
reveal.
they waited so long to show one of them. I guess they were really waiting to make sure that it was balanced or whatever, and they failed. This character looks like a total shithead.
Oh no, it's Leroy again, you know?
Yeah, I
So
think
much pairing.
the trailer was good. I'm not like a huge Tekken fanatic, but I think the trailer was good, and they did a good job of showcasing the necessary moves to get across the point. I thought the dodges were cool, but of course I'm not a Tekken player, so I won't have to deal with that if I'm competing in a tournament. And also we
Yeah.
have a long.
No,
Oh.
sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Also we have along here now. Lourdes, welcome.
Hello.
We're
Hey, Lourdes.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now
we're talking. Oh, sorry, EGP. One by one.
Yeah.
So I think with all that in mind, we'll have to watch closely whether this character ruins the Tekken 8 system. But again, I can't really comment much further. Zenroku, you were trying to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna interject. Like, you were saying, basically one of the main points you were saying was, as a non-Tekken player, she looks sick. So yeah, I feel the same way. Like, as a non-Tekken player, like, I think it's gonna be cool to see people like get mad because of her and
Yeah,
stuff.
sorry
and
to
see
you
her do it.
guys, but
Yeah, from afar, she looks sick. It's like how I get hyped seeing Akuma and Geese in Tekken, because I'm not playing that stuff competitively. So I'm like, hell yeah, when I see that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
nice. Lourdes, did you enjoy the Tekken 8 reveals? The two
Yeah, I
Tekken
thought they were
characters?
cool. I thought like the new I forgot her name already. I thought the parry
Azucena.
mechanic was cool. Oh yeah, Azucena. Yeah, I thought the parry mechanic was cool. I at first thought she was a grappler for a second, but then I realized it's not. It's not. So
Damn, a grappler with spot dodges sounds fun.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I enjoyed Hirata bringing Ono out for a second.
Aww.
Yeah, what was that? Like so, like he was brought on and
It was a
he left a
joke.
big tease. No,
I
come
think it
on,
was
you
just a
can't.
joke. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, it
cruel
was.
joke. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, logistically, it must be that way because they have their hands full working on Tekken 8. But can you imagine, dude?
I
Oh
mean,
man.
This
Ono's
was a
not
good
even working at
reveal.
Capcom.
Didn't Hirata already say like Akuma satisfies his part of the process or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll put it
It's a
this
good
way.
reveal of the Tekken players because I had some friends who were like, "Oh, thank God they basically deconfirmed Tekken Cross Street Fighter because a lot of Tekken players really hate Geese and Akuma."
Okay, so we had an unreveal.
Yeah.
At Evo. That was our unreveal.
I mean, like, Harada and Ono are just historically friends, and because of their history of working together, I think that just bringing it up just to have fun with it was a good bit. So
Mhm,
yeah,
to rib each other a little bit. Yeah, I'm down with
Yeah,
it.
that does fit their style. I miss getting to see their interactions all the time, back and forth during like the Street Fighter Cross Tekken times. They're like a classic comedy skit duo. So it was nice to see that. That was a nice little treat for the fans,
How
even if that's all
so?
it was.
Evo is always about the promise of the future, right? It's sort of like FGC Christmas. We talked with Krushi a little bit about Uni's future, and GBVS's future. How are you guys feeling about Tekken 8's future based on what you've seen so far?
I did play the demo. I thought it was like really promising, from Tekken 7. I know like a lot of like fans were saying like they're like very similar, but I think it has a good chance of being like pretty promising for the future. I'd say.
Cool.
From the panel that Harada had, I actually just saw some images on Twitter. He was actually acknowledging a lot of the problems with the beta, which is good. He acknowledged like how the PC has a ton of frame drops, how like the backdash, the Tekken players did not like that. So I'm really I have a lot of hope. I mean, they could be listing all these complaints and not do anything with them. They could always do that. But I'm really hoping that Harada and the team is actually listening to what the Tekken players want.
yeah.
Fingers
For me, yeah, for me, yeah, it looks really, it looks very crazy. Like there is a major improvement in graphics, major improvement in, I mean, there's like the game's not balanced because of how broken some of the things is, but I'm glad that the devs are taking notice of that. Um, and then you have like your um, competitors who are just like it, like I don't like it. It's a different game. It's like yeah, it's supposed to be a different game. It's not so defensive heavy like the past games and Tekken 7. Now they're taking a huge approach in aggressiveness, which is a huge change in approach. But if as long as the devs keep listening to the fan base and adjusting the game properly so that it'll come out, it does have a very good future, and hopefully I mean I'm glad that my mains are coming in, so I'm good to go.
Oh, Katarina missed. She didn't make it, despite getting third at Evo. Not enough, I
know.
guess. All right, let's move on to our next
Wait,
developer.
Or sorry. Sorry.
Sure, last comment here.
One thing. Brigace, welcome. Was there anything you wanted to comment regarding MK or Tekken 8?
MK, I mean, I'm not really too familiar with the other two characters because they're kind of from the 3D era, and I'm not really too familiar with that. But the Reptile looks really cool. I'm hoping that his human form and his reptilian form are like different stances, not like just some animation during some moves. That would be kind of lame. But I can totally see them doing it in the past. But I mean, he still got force ball, and it looks like his slide got reworked, so it should be interesting to see.
And then we were also just talking about Tekken 8 here and how we think it's shaping up. Are you excited for Tekken 8, Rick?
I'll play it. I don't know. I'm still skeptical. I'm not completely sold on Heat yet.
Those Fusion mirrors are pretty sick, I will say.
I didn't even watch it, dude.
You know what?
I didn't even watch it.
All right, so let's move on to our next major developer here. We got a bunch of news from SNK, so we'll just kind of tick over some of them real quickly. One of them was Sam Show is getting rollback again.
Again? Whoa.
No, but it will take this time. The rollback is gonna. They put some
man, I
Velcro on
can't-
it.
Whether it's good rollback or funny rollback, I'm happy with either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I bet on the second one. So yeah, they're having some trouble retrofitting, but you got to be charmed that they keep trying, and they keep like showing you. Unlike DVFZ, which is just like don't ask me for shit.
Oh yeah,
like
happy
the
anniversary,
approach.
by the way, Dragon Ball fans.
And speaking of notable non-announcements, Dragon Ball fans got a paragraph that said, "We're still working on it."
Yeah, I mean, at that point, why don't you just work on it for the next game, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, regarding the Sam Show, and welcome Retro Rage. Regarding the Sam Show rollback, it's good news, and actually, I think the fact that they're still working on the game shows that they also see the value of getting the practice, quote unquote, for any future titles, because they've been getting more experience with Unreal Engine. SNK have been, and once Garo 2 comes around the corner, they'll have, I think, a lot more of a grasp on what's necessary to make good rollback work in their video games. That's really all there is to say about Sam Show rollback, I guess. We'll hope that it's good.
Well, we have Sam Show rollback's biggest fan here, Retro Rage, who played both betas.
It's gonna revive the game from the dead.
All right, he's
For
going
sure.
full copium.
For sure, dude. There's gonna be flocks of people coming in to
Oh,
play
man.
Sam Show, just like the hundreds of thousands. I'm gonna have 10K entrants in the next Evo. It's gonna be crazy.
Sam Show
Dude.
sweep.
They're gonna have to put me in the gauntlet. I'm gonna be #1 this time, and then I'm gonna eliminate all the people with EQ, the offline EQ. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing for sure. I'm hyped up, and if it's not good rollback,
Fighting
I have no
himself.
comments. No comments.
No comment. Denial.
It's still going to be. I'm gonna have a fun time regardless of what rollback it is.
See my bike in.
So, well, that you have to bike in. It's the rule. There's biking, so you must bike in. It was also announced that KOF 13 is getting something. I don't know. It's only to Switch, so I sort of ignored it.
It's
But
PS4 and Switch, but not PC.
not PC. Yeah.
Yet.
If you don't
But-
mind, I'll. Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Karushi.
Yeah. Yeah, on KOF 13, we talked a bit about it in the pre-EVO episode, Retro Rage, Storm Claymore, and I. I think this game will definitely not get a resurgence. The people that already play it are, there's that image with the guy tapping his keyboard at work and his eyes are like blackened, I think that's the KOF 13 players. They've moved on at this point to KOF 15, the better game, by the way.
Facts.
Ooh.
100%
Yes.
facts.
Yeah, I mean, legit. I think all the people that thought that KOF 13 was the sickest thing ever just because they saw Maximilian do combo trials and they saw that the sprite work was the best thing ever, those people are not going to be playing KOF 13 when it gets rolled back.
Nope.
And it's not even going to be on PC, so I think that already means it's dead. Yeah, there's the image. EGP posted it. Those are the
Yeah.
KOF 13 players right now.
That's
Oh, yeah.
pretty. That's pretty heavy, bro.
I thought it might
Nah.
have some decent sized boomer player base. No.
Yeah.
No, decent size would be like 200, but that's less than plus R. So,
Yeah, I was thinking like 200, 400 range.
no, definitely not 400. I can
Okay.
assure you. Yeah.
So lower end.
Yeah, at this point, SNK is just doing it for the sake of, availability. It's just like, hey, maybe I want to play this game, and oh, look, good connection, and it's like,
Oh, worth noting. I forgot to say this is not Code Mystics, so that's even worse. Like we don't even know
yeah.
the quality
Also,
of
it's
this rollback.
it could be Samsho like.
Okay,
Well,
so
no.
let's ignore KOF 13, play KOF 15, which will be
Yes.
getting. It already got one new character. It got Nash.
Notched.
Notched. Yeah.
And we'll be getting another. I think was this a boss character?
Oh,
It seemed like
Duolon.
a heavy anyway. Duolon.
I can finally play Dual On. It's gonna be crazy.
Was he unplayable in 13 or something?
I couldn't play 13, so there's that. I never touched 13. 13's trash. I hate it.
This was
yeah.
your first fighting game, right?
Yeah, King of Fighters 15 is my first King of Fighters game. Dude, I'm gonna be able to play Dulong and feel less bad.
I wonder how they're gonna change Duolon because
So
he's
Duolon's
a
got some,
record
like-
character.
He's got some like kind of stretchy limbs. He looks kind of cool.
Yeah, he's not really like Dawson though. He's actually a pretty aggressive character. He's got good, spacing stuff and some cool resets, but I imagine he'll play a lot differently in 15.
Are you
as was
saying
the
he's
case-
rushed down Dalzim?
Sure, you can say it
Because
like
that is just Dalzim, I'm afraid.
I mean, sure. I suppose I can, I can come to terms with that. The thing is, his gameplay might be different, right? Because Elizabeth was also different from 13 to 15, and they're kind of comparable because they're on the same canonical team. So, yeah.
I see. Lourdes, how many of these characters are going to lure you back to KOF 15? How many do they have to release before you'll finally come back?
That is a good question.
Unanswerable.
A question that I can't really answer right now.
Fix the matchmaking, SNK. Come on.
Unless we have it back for a CCBBL, I will not be playing KOF 15.
Oh, okay. All right.
Damn.
Well, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Okay, so next up, we got some Street Fighter stuff also.
Wait,
We
don't
got
forget
that Aki character trailer, which was kind of interesting. We got some costume stuff, and we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What are your guys' thoughts on that
A
stuff?
costume. Oh!
$15.
Yeah, each of the. I mean, unfortunately, it's turned out. I think I saw on Reddit that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff will run you $100 if you're a super fan. So yeah, your childhood has been priced appropriately. Sorry.
Oh, we
sorry
didn't
to
talk
your
about
childhood.
Garo.
But I mean, we'll expect more of the Fortnitening. Yeah, I said that correctly. Of Street Fighter in the future, I imagine.
I mean,
About Garo. Because we were on SNK. I think it looks really. It's
Garo.
like
I forgot about
they
that.
they did like the new style. It's like King of Fighters 15, but they have like these outlines around the characters now, like the black outlines or whatever. I'm not sure if King of Fighters 15 has that, but it looks really nice when I saw the sneak peek thing. I thought it was a very cool graphical upgrade from.
So I'll
King
say
of
I'll
Fighters
say one
15.
thing about Garo is it's definitely like they're using the KOF 15 model still.
Yep.
I think the lighting looks a little better.
The lighting is a lot better.
Yeah. So they're creating new tricks. They're taking it to the next place, but it's not the
And-
next level.
I'm
And
not a
Terry
game-
looks really good. Like compared to this KOF 15 counterpart.
I'm not a game dev, but I heard the problem with 14's graphics is that it's not the models themselves that are really bad; it's the lighting engine that's really bad. I don't know though. I don't mod games.
And what about the lighting engine EGP? Do you think is the issue?
Something about it. It sucks in 14, and looks like they improved it. So
And maybe it just wasn't dynamic enough, or it wasn't even working. It's just like spotlighting or something like that. We have a few Garo players in here. Zenryoku, are you excited for more, for like a stripped down like 1v1 SNK fighter?
Garo play? What are you talking about, man?
Garo, man, there's no tagging in Garo. It's 1v1. You don't get a team.
Yeah, like I'm definitely interested to see how it turns out, of course. I mean, uh I never really messed with the OG much, but I'm a fan of the characters that I know. And I think yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I just have like a totally open mind about it, and I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
This
So
series is kind of one of the mechanics of Mark of the Wolves is the fact that you can break moves. So basically, you can cancel your DPS. So you have like free DPS.
I'm all over
I don't
that.
know how they're going to update that. It was sort of gated by difficulty in the old version, but yeah,
was there like a cost to it, or
no, no meter cost.
huh?
I remember Garo had like that thing with like a certain portion of your life, you get like a little bonus. I was like really casual about it. I didn't really know
Yeah,
what
you
it
get a
did.
new move with CD when you enter into, and you can set the region of your life where it occurs,
Right.
what third. Those weren't really game changing, but it was an interesting idea, and it'll be interesting to see if they expand on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so far we haven't seen it in action, so all we know is they're making it, and it looks like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think SNK always kills it with announcements, so with patience, we'll see more later down the line.
Yeah, it was a snippet. It was a snippet. All right, are we good on SNK? Anything else you guys want to say about SNK?
They keep winning.
Yeah, I guess the timing it was more sensible because they did it. I think it was after KOF.
Storm
top 6
Claymore
did.
and Karush, you were right. They actually announced it after their game, which is like, yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I guess there's oh sorry, do you want to
Oh, I was gonna say we can talk more about the top 6s when we get to the section.
We're getting there. We're
Oh,
almost through
top
the
6 is going to
reveals.
be a beautiful section. I have a lot to say about top 6.
Yep.
We're getting there. Hold on to your piss and vinegar. All right, moving on. We've got the Street Fighter section. All right, no one wants to talk about the DLC, but what do you guys think about Aki? We finally got to see her in
I
movement.
love her.
I can fix her.
Yeah, same.
I think this
Why
is
didn't
the
Fang
first
get this love when he was in Street Fighter 5? Oh, sorry. That's,
I
I love her the
Pong.
way she is.
All right, Rig Jace
Wow.
loves her as is.
I was a fan
Tekken.
of Pong, okay? I'm a fan of Aki as well, but yeah.
EGP loves poison. He loves poisoning people.
where was my Fong work on Twitter when he came out? I didn't see anybody drawing Fong.
I'm mad too. Don't worry,
Guys,
Retro
explain to me this phenomenon. Huh?
Fong didn't
Loaded.
murder the Street Fighter avatar. He didn't get those points.
He did. He turned that one girl into like a puddle of goo.
No, you didn't even see that girl turn into a puddle. That he might have just put that dust there later.
Lourdes, was there anything you wanted to get in?
For Street Fighter?
Yeah. Sorry, I remember you were trying to say earlier.
No, I just said I like her design.
Oh, okay.
What
I'm
about
actually sketching
Fong's
her
design?
right now.
I'll say Aki looks very unique. I think they could have just made her look kind of like generically Asian.
The
But-
true answer is that she's a woman and she's hot.
Well, for white people like it, but she's got like pretty good like Ringu vibes or something. Like her face is kind of stretched out a little bit. She looks a little creepy. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, do you think it was intentional that like her head and hair makes her kind of look like a mushroom, like a poisonous mushroom kind of thing?
Ah,
Like-
That's what. Oh my! I didn't even think about
good
that.
analysis, Senryoku.
Wait,
Yeah,
this
I
man's a
thought that was
legend.
good thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, go ahead.
I was just gonna offer a quick thought. We didn't get to see any gameplay yet, but I think yeah, it's known she's gonna be all like poisony and stuff. But I hope she has a way to drain your drive gauge over time. I think that would be interesting,
Your true life force. The drive cage.
right?
Not the drag.
Your real HP bar.
Based on just their design, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Based on what they've shown, I'm gonna guess that her mechanic is similar to Manon and Jamie, where she gets some sort of buff for hitting you with a certain move.
Oh, she's gonna be bad.
Let's go.
Like a resource kind of character,
Yeah,
snowball
Well-
kind of character.
we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
hoping,
people-
like, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Kurushi.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I know, of course, poison will be a debuff, but like, I hope they're as creative as they want to be with the debuffs. Like, if the player can have access to like different kinds of debuffs, like how Baiken can after Baku and plus R, how she can force the next hit to be a counter hit, or prevent you from blocking the next hit, stuff like that. Then I think we can see some really interesting play, and I think it would fit her character too. She's pretty like sadistic and stuff, right?
If they can
So-
do it, though. I mean, the last time I can think of something like that was Sin and Strive, who they gave him some like random buffs, but because they wanted to balance everything, none of them really mattered off of E.
I was thinking about the button lockout mechanic from like plus R that biking can do, but I was like, there's modern controls, so they couldn't do that.
That's so
They should-
nasty.
they shouldn't
Anyway.
do that.
It would be OP against modern. That'd be a hard counter against modern players because they have fewer buttons to lock out.
That would be funny. That would be funny if she's like the counter to modern controls.
Yeah, anti-modern.
I think if we're comparing to Manol and Jamie, I'm hoping that they don't go that route. I would like to see them just make a fully fleshed move set and not have it where you have to unlock new moves with certain power-ups of certain resources. But they've done a good job of that so far.
Our
course.
okay Ken player. I see you.
Okay, we got one more announcement that's worth talking about, I think, and that was in everyone's favorite fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive. We have finally returned to the John Boy pastures. I don't know if anyone saw this. I heard a lot of people just sort of left the arena during Guilty Gear Strive, but John Boy's back. Johnny will be in season 3, and also there is a season 3, so Strive sticking around. The Leffen Dominion Empire will remain for a while.
You know, Johnny's not going to save that game.
I agree.
The 214D and 236D are not going to save that game. In fact, you know what? Leffen is going to save that game.
Oh, hell no.
Oh my gosh.
This sounds like a hot take. How is Leffen going to save Guilty Gear Strive, Karushi?
Because he's playing Happy Chaos and winning. And Happy Chaos is the best thing that ever happened to Strive.
And the crowd goes mild.
People do seem to love that character. They post about him all the time.
You see what's gonna happen is that Leffen is gonna get all the smashers to go into Guilty Gear Strive, and all the FGC heads are gonna drop the game. And then
That's already happened, bro.
Guilty Gear Strive will be part of Smash, and it'll just be like a game that's not part of the FGC anymore.
I know you're trying to tell the future, but you're telling the past.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that already
I was like,
happened?
this has already happened.
Yeah.
I will say, when I go to the Guilty Gear Strive locals, they always call it friendlies, you know, so it's kind of
That's
strange.
like it's like a
That says it
self-report
all.
right there.
Suspicious. Okay, but what if Johnny drops and even though like they actually did it, he doesn't have coin. Like they actually did it. Amazing. But what if he drops and he's like super technical, like Oscar was technical? What if he drops, he's super technical, and he's like top tier, and all the like smash heads have to drop out except for Leffen?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Like, honestly, again, I'm not going to be playing Strive just for Johnny. And apparently Brett's going to try the game proper now. So, like, if he's going to try it, then, you know, maybe that's a good thing. That's a good sign for the game. But, yeah.
Y'all see Omito's Twitter?
I did.
I saw that, yeah, I saw that.
Back.
What did Omida say, AGP?
I think he said he was gonna try out the character.
See me at
Oh.
Evo.
He posted the Johnny Exert intro walk, is what he did, with sunglasses, the sunglass emoji.
He's coming in.
Yeah.
Okay,
he
so
said it'll be there.
we'll have all of the people who were just waiting to be top tier. Maybe we'll even get our CBBL competitors who were winning stuff with Johnny, like D Blizzard and Mangetsu to drop into Strive now.
There's no way.
Hey, the modified special moves are pretty cool. I saw May's got like a little jump out of her dolphin.
Yeah, I guess that was
Oh,
the
man,
other.
actually-
That's true. That was also announced. We got some new moves. So, I mean, I know some complaint was that Strive had like it was a little too simple. So now we're gonna get one new move at a time to fix that on 6 characters.
I think they said they're gonna drip feed the rest.
a little
Which is
weird,
really,
but
really lame.
they also haven't added IKs yet. I was kind of that was my bingo square.
I mean,
I was
they
gonna
have
guess season 3
IKs
would
if you
get
play
IKs.
Nago, but
But IKs are a Guilty Gear thing.
Have they been part of every game?
Yeah.
Strive is
Oh wow. Huh.
questionably a Guilty Gear game.
Oh, you're saying they shouldn't add it because it's not a Guilty Gear game? Is that what you're saying, EGP?
Maybe.
Being ambiguous. They also added Wild Assault, or definitely not Drive Rush.
Oh yeah, they
Drive
did
Impact?
do that.
They
I
also
know,
added literally. They also added Street Fighter 6 parry. You know that thing that blocks any attack, high, lower projectile.
They have something called Defense Shield, which is a little. It's got some blowback. I think it's closer to Blitz, but you don't get a follow up.
yeah,
Yeah, I was telling Sergio it's basically Blitz Shield. Unfortunate.
the 2 through 6D UCSD friend was calling it Strive Impact, which was pretty funny.
The Strive needs audience back. That's why it's adding in Drive Rush and the drive system.
So I'll say, if I guess I'm probably the only positive Strive voice here, so I'll say my piece. I think it's good that they're adding stuff. This is what fighting games should do. They should add stuff as the game gets older and stale. So I don't know if they'll ever
Ironic.
fix their balance problem or the characters that everyone hates, but at least it will be there's something for you to do instead of just like drop the game because Angie's been low tier for 3 seasons.
He's got a new special move though. You see that blue overhead he was doing after the
Yeah,
spin?
but it's out
Yeah.
of spin. I don't know.
As a Tekken player, adding a new move to a bad character is not gonna help.
Generally, it doesn't, right? Generally, it doesn't.
No, it don't.
I can't wait for the balance patch, only to find out that Hepicast, Ram, Nago, and Leo are still going to be top tier.
Which they will be.
Yep.
It
I
would
already
be
know.
funny if Happy Chaos got like a new move that like lets him teleport out of the corner or something like that.
No.
That would be so hilarious.
Sayano, you want to know the real problem with Strive balance right now? It's that they are afraid of nerfing. Like, they're afraid of nerfing characters to the ground. And they probably need to do that for Happy Chaos, right? Like, they keep buffing him, apparently. What's up with that, right? Like, I'm okay with it, obviously. I don't mind seeing Happy Chaos at tournaments.
Whenever
Well-
they touch these characters, they always touch like not the most important routes for them. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, they don't get this conversion, but it doesn't matter.
I thought the problem was that no one in Japan plays the Happy Chaos.
It's that too.
Could be. Yeah, that's a mystery that perhaps we'll leave for another day. Okay, so we also had a few announcements of like just there's some cool indie games on the horizon. I think Lourdes has some experience with, what was it called? Chess Master or something?
Chess Showdown.
Chess
Checkmate
Showdown.
Showdown. Yes.
You actually played it out, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it.
Yeah.
You play chess and then you fight when you take pieces and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
That sounds pretty sick. I
Yeah,
don't know if
but
you
like-
guys were able to get to the indie floor, but please let us know if you saw anything cool there.
Oh,
There were a
this
bunch of
chess
cool ones I
game.
didn't have time to check out, but the chess one was cool. Like, you would attack pieces and stuff, and the attack. There's a bunch of considerations to reward both chess and fighting game skill. Most glaringly, like if you attack a piece and there's another piece attacking it at the same time, and you can call them an assist.
Nice.
So it's like a huge buff, right? So, yeah, I didn't get much time to mess around with it, but I think there's something cool and novel there to check out.
I got one question about that game. I don't know if anyone's like played enough to answer me, but if you have like a chess master versus like a fighting game expert, wouldn't the fighting game expert be able to outplay like every like piece taken? Like if you have like a pawn versus the queen, wouldn't I mean I'm assuming the fighting game player could probably outplay the person that's never played a fighting game before, right?
Yeah, I spoke to the game director who was there with the demo, and I asked him like the same question.
Okay.
And the gist of what he said was basically like it's a fighting game first. So generally, like if you put like a fighting game grandmaster versus a chess grandmaster, we're expecting the fighting game grandmaster to win. But what they're trying to do with the game, from what I understand, is um, try to not make it like as much of a blowout and still be fun and have counterplay for both sides to some degree. So I haven't got a chance to play it outside the floor, so like I don't have any experience beyond that for like how hard or not it'll be to blow up someone or get blown up. But
We're gonna
Um,
kill these chess players.
Can we have a night of having like the chess club from like UCLA if there is one to
mm,
Oh,
That
the
would
chess
be
club is bigger than the
hilarious.
fighting game club. Way bigger, I think.
I would hope so.
All right, so one last game that didn't actually have a reveal at Evo, but I think kind of like transitions us to talking about the show and hanging out at the show and stuff like that. Project L recently had a bunch of announcements. They had their big like fighting game player boot camp. They showed more of the game, and it was at Evo to play, right? So, what are your guys' thoughts on Project L? Did you get a chance to try it out? Was it fun?
Lots to say. I'll allow the others to go first because I'm usually long-winded.
Krushi's gonna lay in wait. Who wants to set off his trap card? Did
Mine
anyone
was
get a
too
chance to
long.
play it on the floor?
yeah.
What'd you think, Lourdes?
I thought it was cool. I like the tag assist part of it.
Was it kind of like BB tag?
I don't know BB tag to.
It's like very easy to tag in. It's like one button. It's pretty
yeah,
safe.
Yeah, basically.
Cool. What are your other guys' thoughts having seen the stuff leading up to it?
Okay, I'll go ahead. So my goal was to play it a little earlier in the day when the line was shorter, but obviously Uni 2, so that was out the window. But when I did get to play it, I dragged Zenryoku along with me to join the line, and Laney explained a bit about some things that. And by the way, Laney is one of our fellow FGC UCLA members. He was actually running the booth the entirety of Friday.
Shout out to
And,
Lane.
uh,
Laney.
Yeah,
Oh.
big shouts to Laney. He was killing it there. But yeah, he gave us some pointers on what we should look out for, characters that might suit us well. And he told me like if I'm looking for characters that are similar in mobility with Trish in Marvel 3, Ari and Yasuo would suit me quite well. So I used those characters. Now, and like a little bit more about the Project L booth itself. They allowed for players to use either stick or pad, whichever one they were more comfortable with, and there were two separate lines for them. The stick line was noticeably shorter than the pad line. It's worth pointing that out. But regardless, Zenryoku and I played in a pair. We played against another pair of randoms. I don't believe they knew each other. But regardless, what I will say about the game is that, contrary to what my initial impressions were, having watched the video that they uploaded some time ago, it didn't require that much communication between Zenryoku and I in order to know when to intervene in the action, right? There's a mechanic with tag burst where only your partner can initiate it, and it felt pretty easy to know, okay, this is a good time to burst, and I should just go ahead and intervene and do it. And there's also like the hard tags, which I would communicate to Zenryoku when I would do it, but it otherwise felt like it didn't feel like much communication was necessary. And I think later on, once people flesh out the 2v2 meta, especially with two individual players, there will be less communication needed, like at all, especially offline. Playing with randoms online will be a completely different story, and I do not look forward to doing that whatsoever. In fact, I'll actively avoid playing with randoms in pairs. That just seems like a league experience that I'm not interested in, right? But the game,
Diaphone said in the FGC boot camp that he thought that the one-player teams had a big advantage over the two-player teams.
I disagree with that, but I disagree with that as an absolute. But I can see where that would be an advantageous thing in some aspects, right?
Maybe true for a day one fighter also.
That too. So the gameplay, right? I think the game flow is good. We had a lot of timeouts in our games, but I think it's more so because we didn't know any combos. Once people figure out combos and mix-ups, I think the game will go pretty fast because you can get quite a few hits in, and the damage will be adding up quickly. The other thing too is that movement. I didn't have a full grasp on when I was playing, but you can kind of like move relatively easily with wave dashing. Apparently, wave dash backward, you can just mash the dash macro to get that. But for wave dash forward, you have to cancel into crouch in order to get it repeatedly in succession.
That's kind of cool. Easier for retreating defense and harder for aggression.
Exactly. And some of the... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to comment on the backdash. I heard from a developer that you can still wave dash backwards and it's a little faster. But most people are just going to mash it, is what he said.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, of course, you can block during that. So that's important to note too, right? If you're canceling the crouch.
It's nice that they even know that. It often seems like developers don't seem to know how their game works.
Yeah, great point on that actually. Because they, especially Riot doesn't really play their own games, I believe. But whatever, everything. So regarding I said about the movement. Regarding the character-specific movement, Ari has an air dash. I think Yasuo does not, and I didn't try the other characters, so I'm not sure about them. But
is there air block?
There is air block.
Okay, so it's an anime fire.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like BB tag. Yeah. I guess the rest of it is like we still weren't too familiar with the game. But afterwards, we actually interviewed Zenrook and I. We were interviewed by FlyQuest. We were pulled aside for, I guess they were doing some media content. So they asked us a few questions about it, and unfortunately, the league question came up. And I'm usually the person that tries to avoid talking about League in a knowledgeable way, but unfortunately they did ask if we knew any League characters and if we were looking forward to seeing them in the game, right? So I had to respond accordingly in a way that I knew what they were talking about. I'm looking forward to Fiora in the game. She's
like, you sons of a bitches.
Yeah, it's like, no.
How dare you?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be on record. That's the thing, right? But anyway, Fiora is my favorite League character, and I think she fits well in the fighting game, so I'm hoping to see her in the game later on. But I don't know if she's the most popular of characters in the League of Legends universe, so it might be a while before we see that.
Zen, you were there too. You got anything you want to add in here?
Yeah, so I played as Darius and Ari. For the actual user experience of the game, I thought the UI and the whole experience of getting into a game, playing and remashing was very fluid and well presented. So that's always going to be pluses for people just getting into it and streaming and everything. And it's, of course, only going to get more polished from here. The game does have like a nice Marvel like Magic series like starter combo we can do, where you do ABC launcher, air ABC into finisher. So people can kind of start with that and build up from there.
No auto combos?
I don't know. I didn't.
No auto
try.
combos. No auto combos. Just a Magic series.
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then actually moving around and playing and doing stuff felt good. Felt like an actual fighting game. And yeah, with all the tag stuff, I think so like when things go right with the tag system, like when Krushi called good assist to like cover my attacks getting blocked or to extend my stuff when it hit, things like that, it felt even better when it worked out than if I were to do it on my own. And when he would do a good burst, then that felt good. It felt really good on like the team or teamwork layer. So that will be the part that I look forward to the most about trying the game, playing with friends.
High highs mean low lows, though.
Sorry?
High highs mean low lows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's team anything, I guess.
Rick Jace, are you ready to quit the game forever the first time your teammate bursts you into a safe burst setup?
you assume I'll be playing with teams in the first place. I mean, I got into fighting games because I hated League of Legends and I hated teams.
It's
So
not
you will never
5v5
catch me
though.
that.
At least not 5v5.
I don't trust anyone in a team game.
No, I mean you shouldn't. Like playing with randoms is probably a good way to make. The
I
game
was playing
worse.
with friends.
Oh, you and I are not the same then.
Lourdes, are you ready to be carried by someone in Project L or do the carrying? Are you intrigued by the 2-player part?
It'd be kind of weird, I guess. Kind of like hard to adjust because like I'm not used to team-based games and like fighting games. So I mean, other than like Tekken Tag 2.
Oh,
Yeah, it seems it's very similar to that, except that always had the high stakes of if you die while you're in,
Yeah,
which I thought was very clever because it makes you actually tag out.
yeah.
one thing I wanted to point out, the game looked very good in person, like much better than it did in videos. And of course, it's hard to capture game footage and present it in, an appealing way. But I think they did a great job. And if anyone's gripe with the game is the way it looks, I hope seeing it in person would reassure them. And then the other thing is that the fact that this game is being developed by a number of high-profile FGC people, and the way they portrayed, having the arcade sticks and the way they even had them at the setups, which I thought was kind of overkill, right? Like the game doesn't really need an arcade stick, but they want to relate to the FGC, and the way they're doing all of that, I think that shows that they really care about garnering the audience that they're going for. But we'll just have to see whether it works out. I mean, to me personally, with what I tried out so far, what I saw, I'm impressed, and I guess the future looks bright for it. But I'm not I'm not as hesitant, or like some people on Reddit are like, the game is being developed by Riot. I don't feel that way. Like I think the game looks promising. So
Yeah, I think of the Marvel devs and whoever else they brought in.
Clockwork, Marlon Pie, Apology Man.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, part of it is, we're just lucky at all of us in SoCal. Riot is here, right? So this is our local boys.
Actually, they have a team in NorCal too, so that's where
Nice.
Pat Flip is based.
Well, that's
I
right.
heard,
Rapid Flip is on this too, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I heard Seth Killing left the project early in development, so I wonder what that was about.
Yeah, I wouldn't read into that too far.
Alright.
Okay. Any last thoughts from any of you about Project L?
Project
I'm
L.
a hater.
Like Project L, am I right?
Yeah, I agree. Project L for like freaking losers who play Riot video games.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a Dota guest character that ruins the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
Retro Age, maybe your opinion will change if you had tried it. Of course, watching it, I would feel the same way as you probably, but when I
Okay,
tried it, I
Riot,
didn't.
there's a lot of poison still from League of Legends and the blood systems out there.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to work hard
And
to
they
win
got me
people
with
over.
LOR. Maybe they can
Dude,
get me with
Riot's
another one.
creative team never drops the ball. Whatever they touch, it'll look good. You can guarantee that fact for sure. So like, I don't know, man. Just I hate fighting games, man.
Ace.
Let's go.
Looking at like Project L, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna. Dude, there's already like 25-second combos. I'm already like, I guess there's burst. I guess you can burst.
Yeah, and burst is only based on whether your assist is available, I think. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're edging towards our top six, but we're not quite there yet. Let's talk a little bit more about being at the show floor. Some of you guys went. There are a lot of events this time. There's a lot of course, there's the million side tournaments. There was all of the trying out Tekken 8 or trying out GBVS or trying out Project L or Uni 2. There was a lot of stuff for you guys to do this time. How was it being at the show for us streamers? We didn't get to see, so how was it being there?
It was really cool. There's a lot of stuff to do. Reminds me a lot of last year because if you went to EVO before 2019, honestly, they were way more focused on the tournament aspect. It's more like a convention now, which I kind of like more. Gives you something to do, especially if you like go 0-2.
EGP, do you think it was even more like that than last time?
Oh yeah, it was definitely more. They had the cursed like performance stage where someone was like, where's the very loud music. No, it was fine. It's fine.
Crunchyroll.
I know people have like flashbacks to was it DreamHack?
Oh boy.
It was
Oh, that
not
was
like
fun.
that.
Yeah.
It was just really crowded this year. It was way more crowded than ever.
Really?
I hope they can get maybe increase the venue by a little bit if it's possible, just because I constantly felt like really crowded. That was my biggest issue, right? Because there was not a lot of places to like just sit down and chill. Like my shoulders and my legs were super sore by literally Friday.
You need a OG gamer lounge with lazy
think there
boys
was.
and, you know, a Street Fighter 3 on the TV.
Maybe I need a wheelchair with the Sanjuks on it. That's probably what I need.
Lourdes, was there anything you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, I agree. It was like really, it was much more crowded than last year. I kind of, I feel like I got to experience the convention a little more last year because there was not as much people, and like actually got to like meet some people and like basically like just like talk to some people that are like like pro players and stuff like that. But this year it was kind of hard to like interact because there's just so many people. But that's just that's just how conventions go. But I like the demos. They were cool. I think they were fun, and then the arcade was fun too. I was just kind of sad. Like last year they had a lot more 3S cabinets, but this year they kind of like decreased it. So like I don't know what happened with that. But
Oh, really?
yeah.
You mentioned about the crowdedness. The SF6 is to blame for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I really think they should have done 4 days, but yeah, I have a lot to say on that, so I'll hold back for now.
Don't even get me started on that.
Well, I'd say that's part of the show experience. The SF6 pools were like endless, right? Like even if you went out like a jobber, you still had to play like 6 matches or something like that to get bottom 4,000. How was that? How was the pools in SF6? Those of you who swam through it. Storm Claymore, did you play SF6?
No, I don't own the game,
Okay,
unfortunately.
you dodged that one. Good call. Anyone else who went through the SF6 pools?
I entered it, but didn't play it, and it was supposed to be dropped from it, but that's another story. Having to walk through the menagerie of people every time that I wanted to get across the venue was definitely annoying, and it didn't help that most of the tables didn't even have the chairs that were required, so people stole them from other places, which were the community showcase. So we were low on chairs. Again, like I'm trying to hold myself back, but we were low on chairs. SF6 was SF6. We expected this, right? Everyone knew it was going to happen, but they really should have made it 4 days of an event to account for that. Of course, it's hard to know ahead of time, but now they know. And I feel like EVO is fitting enough for a 4-day event, given that Sunday that the venue's not even open. So, I guess regarding the experience of the convention itself, because this was actually my first EVO. A lot of people don't know that.
I did like it so far.
I'm sorry?
How was it for you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm actually glad that I volunteered. At first, I wasn't really sure whether it would be a good idea given all of the nonsense they made us go through, but it turned out to be like the best thing to have done. I did miss out on a lot of the festivities of the top sixes and the Saturday events, but I enjoyed walking around, taking photos, meeting random people, chatting about random fighting game stuff, even though I don't like fighting games, right? I think the experience of the convention was great. And honestly, I'm with EGP on this. I think it's great that EVO feels more like a convention now than a tournament proper, but I think that even more so says that it needs an extra day. So there's that to be said. I think Crunchyroll was kind of out of place. I'm hoping that they can figure that out for next year's, because I think it's valuable to have them as a sponsor. and for that matter, they actually co-streamed the event. So I think having an extra archival location is good.
Karushi, you mean their like booth was taking up space or something?
I didn't. I'm not sure if it's in any of these photos, but their booth, like, it's not even a booth. They literally had a whole section. Like, it took up probably the most space out of any individual section of a company. And not a lot of people went around this area. You had to walk through it though to get across the venue, so you had no choice but to either go through this or go through the lewd stuff in the artist alley section, right? They took up a lot of space. Oh, good.
I feel like Artist Alley gotta like have like a 18+ section, right?
Dude, for real, it's so bad that anyway. Let me not. We're on stream, so let's not talk about that. But, yeah,
Does sex exist? Come to episode 20 of Ursine podcast.
bruh. But yeah, no, I think Crunchyroll is a great sponsor to pick up, but it just, the booth size was a bit much, and I don't think too many people were interested in the anime stuff. On that note, I have another thing to mention down the line when we get to the top 6 is about the anime. But anyway, yeah, I think I enjoyed the convention a lot. The space was well utilized aside from Crunchyroll. I wish that I was gonna mention something else. But yeah, I guess if I remember, I'll bring it up again.
Yeah, getting free Chipotle was pretty sick.
Oh yeah,
You have to
EGP's
be-
right.
you have
There
to
was
be
Chipotle
good.
all over this thing.
I made it out of pools. I got Chipotle. I don't know about anyone though.
I mean, I got 2 Chipotles for watching the stream. So.
Yeah, I got one for sitting on my
Oh.
ass.
Dang, I had to work for that. Y'all are lucky.
Oh, you want to talk about work? Oh dear me.
Oh no, don't get me started, man.
Yeah, don't go there, man.
Yeah, I actually applied for volunteering this year, but they were telling me that all the spots were taken.
Yeah, that was nonsense. Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, I was so tired by Friday already. Like, I was buff by Friday, dude. Like carrying that 12 pound stick, and then I have to walk everywhere, right, on that hard concrete floor, right?
Yep.
Well-
Carrying that Chipotle burrito around inside of you.
Yeah.
They were joking, dude. They needed volunteers. It's just that, like, on paper, they didn't need volunteers, but in terms of people that actually showed up, they needed volunteers.
Dude,
But anyway.
like 200 people were declined. That's how big the list was.
Yeah. But a lot of those people didn't show up.
How was the competition this year? Do you feel like it was run decently, or were there a lot of DQs? So many people.
Oh, go ahead.
Same old. For me, it's just like, we do have some DQs. It's very normal for like a big event because we have people who like to sign up for like 9 events, but then just stop showing up
Board
at
man.
like
Board man.
7.
Call it to board man.
Yeah, like you'll like if it's like a yeah, you'll have like 1 or 2 DQs, but some people would get like 4 or 5 or half of them just like don't even show up, and then the TOs are just standing there, just like, what am I supposed to do next? I just keep running because when we're running the brackets, we have like a specific time limit. Like this time it was like 15 minutes after the bracket starts, you can start DQing. And then when it hits like, let's say like 3:20, like just 20 minutes after, they're DQ from like losers brackets. Yeah, and then it becomes a lot more arbitrary the longer the tourney goes. So there are shares of DQs.
It's all right. So, are there any last comments about attending the show? There's one thing I want to ask you guys. Did you guys have fun meeting famous people? I know Karushi got to meet the progenitor of Uni here. He talked about meeting Kamon a few times, playing with him and stuff like that. Did that change your life? Is there any other celebrity stories you guys want to share?
I got a couple.
Oh.
I think you mean Kimone and Karushi Drive.
Okay, I
meeting Karushi Drive the first time, baby.
True. It was great to have met him. I wish I knew more Japanese because his English is, it's still pretty early into his learning. So it was difficult communicating, but I think it was still fruitful. And I'm super glad to have met him and played against him. Like, I've never had that opportunity in my life. And for a game that I used to enjoy a lot, which I still do, but not in the same way as I used to when I was younger, right? But a game I enjoyed a lot, and a game that kind of was my real foray into the FGC. like get involved with making videos and that kind of thing. It was super cool to meet him. And I think his Twitter is whack, but I think what I noticed is that a lot of, and like I think only the retweets, right? But I think meeting a lot of people in person was like kind of eye-opening because the way people are on the internet is so different from how they are in person. Like I'll say that for sure. And like that's a good thing. That's relieving. I hope that is reassuring for a lot of people that seem to have no hope when they carry themselves in the internet. But that aside,
I got some pictures with some pro Tekken players, but yeah, I did meet up with a lot of people that I only knew online. I finally got to meet them for the first time.
It's always the best, right? You're like, oh, you're real.
Yeah, and sometimes it's kind of funny. It's like, oh, the image in my head just, didn't match up with what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, even looks aside, like I think having the conversation with people, like where you get to see into their soul, I think that kind of thing is super cool too. I spoke with Mothman at length, and it was definitely a great.
I have like 4 stories I want to share, if you guys don't mind.
Well, let us have it.
Damn, you didn't want to. Damn, you wouldn't want to stay at 4 story time, huh? Oh, he's back for story time. Nice. If you guys don't mind, I have
Storm Claymore.
All right, I'm gonna share this one picture. So first off, I'm gonna start with this picture. This one is Atif Khan. No, it's Khan, Arsan Ash, and Farzeen, the only Pakistani representatives. So some backstory: the lines were very big, and they extended like until 11 p.m. It was so bad that the lines started going into like Starbucks to the food courts. It was pretty darn long, and command center needed like 2 volunteers for crowd control. So it was me and another guy working with 2 security members and just like pretty much stacking all general admission, all custom badge, everyone in just one single file line. And it took like at least a 2-hour wait time to go to the front. So by the time it started going around like 9 p.m., like one of the workers named Stuart came by and it started going like, all right, we're going to start cutting off. I'm sorry, we're going to start cutting off our line because it's going to take like 2 hours. So next thing you know, he starts cutting off the line, and lo and behold, your EVO 2023 champion of Tekken 7, Arslan Ash, and his 2 associates, Khan and Farzeen. And some backstory is that they are the only Pakistani players. Everyone from like the Ashes team in Pakistan, all of them were denied visa, and it took months for them to get him. So you can see how, bad they got it when they're trying to go to EVO and compete. And right as it just got here, it was like 9 p.m. for them. They were very visibly upset. Arson F was just like gaping his mouth open. He's just like, what? And, the moment they were denied, I was just like, we are not gonna just like deny them how far exhausted they got here. That is insane. So I started just like going off of like Stuart and be like, do you know who these guys are? They literally were the EVO 2022 runner-ups of Tekken 7. So then Stuart just like made an exception. He was like, all right, I guess you 3 can go in here, but everyone else no. And for me, it's just like, I know as TOs, we're not supposed to give special treatment, but given the circumstances for these specific individuals and how much value they bring to the Tekken scene and FGC as a whole, it was important for them to, streamline, their entrance as easily as possible because of how much logistics they had to go.
So this is the story of how Storm Claymore saved EVO.
Well, look, it's a Tekken community. We try to do the best things for our community, and if we're there, we're there. And then after I returned back from like getting my badge, I just took, I just fanboyed to all 3 of them, saying like, listen, how well you guys do. I hope you guys have good luck, and then have to take a picture, and that's pretty much that part.
Cool.
Where's another one? Oh yeah. So I did meet Lythero and the gang, as you can see here. Like I was supposed to meet I met up with like Unruly or Kenny from Yo Video Games, and all of a sudden like this guy shows up with Kenny and it's like, oh, Simmons is trying to look for you, and next thing you know, I was just like putting two and two together, and it's like, wait a minute, you're like Lythero, and Lythero goes like, oh, I gotta do this. So he puts on his glasses, like, yes, it's me, I'm Lythero, and you see the other two, who was associates, you know, and I was just like, oh wow, you guys are the ones who make the funny Dragon Ball videos, ha ha hee hee. So I started going off of them and just like fanboying as well. I also met his wife, and I expressed how much I loved her art because it just stood out because of how like really bright and colorful and also very blocky, and yeah, just like artistic talent that I'm just like so amazed by.
Cool.
And I took a picture with them. So I did, and then after we were done, we just did a little walk with them, and I just talked about like, so when are we gonna get the run back with those rabbits? And then like they were just like glares at me, just like, are you kidding me? You run back? What run back? Those two rabbits were purposely designed to be impossible, and those two I left out of the out of the plan. They didn't know that they were not supposed to beat them. So if you watch the latest video of them trying to fight Mini Lythero and his two bunnies, like this entire time they just didn't know.
What
So-
game is that in?
Huh?
What game is that in?
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh, I see.
So, God. So the last story I have, and just save enough time, is just meeting up with, you guessed it, Harada and Michael Murray.
Nice.
And this is my second time meeting the two. It was just like the first time I met them was like the first time meeting with Harada was me and Suma. We're just like, oh, we're just new fans and stuff. And me when meeting Michael Murray, like Murray was just super tired. Murray was just like out of it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm the dev for Tekken 7. That's great, man. And it's like, but then this is my second encounter with them, and I told them about like how well the game has been going and what I felt about the beta, and they were just like, oh yeah, they were a lot more positive when I first met them. Yeah, but like the second time I met them, and I took a picture with them, and because they're it was like pretty late, I just let them go. But I'll put it this way: there was right when I took a selfie with them, some guy went fucking gremlin mode, like back perched up, phone in like landscape mode, and eyes widened up, and he had the realization that I just met like two of the Tekken devs, and he started making these weird noises as he was approaching them, and he was like, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I was like, dude, they're just developers, man. Like, you don't have to just like go goblin mode on them.
It's enough just to get your picture. But that's cool that you got to meet Harada and the other Tekken developer.
Yes. I've met a lot of cool other people, but I wish I took pictures of them. But I was just so dead tired from all of the TOing and competing. But like at the end of the day, it's just like we're all community. Like we're not like Hollywood monsters. Like they're just people out there trying to make their dues and trying to have fun. And I appreciate that ever since I met like Tasty Steve, because he pretty much taught me about that part, as I mentioned from the last episode of the podcast. And it's great. Like we're all a wonderful family.
It's definitely cool that everyone all gets together and hangs out. Godfrey, you posted 1 billion pictures. You want to walk me through your various people you ran into here?
Yeah, actually, I ran into a lot more people than this, but the opportunity wasn't very ripe to get the picture with them. and this was on Thursday and Friday when I had most of those opportunities. 'Cause sadly, Saturday I was occupied with the Uniclear tournament for most of the day. But anyway, I already talked about Kamone, my interaction with him. It was great, and definitely, definitely the person I was most excited to have met. Ray Ray, I didn't really talk with him because he was on his way to um, do something else, I think. So I didn't want to keep him for very long. ET, funny enough, this was on the way back from I think it was Thursday night after the volunteer meeting, after the community showcase kerfuffle, which I can't really talk too much about on stream. But we were on the way back from that to the hotel room, and we ran into ET, who ET doesn't know like a lot of English, but it was still like he was still super happy to meet someone that knew who he was, and I'm happy I got the photo with him because he finished second place at KOF, so it felt like
Nice.
validating, okay, I chose the right person to get the KOF picture with. And then Abigan, I saw him after he was already eliminated. It was long after though, so it wasn't like, oh, he was still in a bad mood or anything like that. And he was actually with the other Japanese Marvel players. I think he traveled with Zulaw, RF, and Mia. But I didn't get a picture with them because they were doing their own thing. But yeah, Abigan was cool. And then Jabali said on Twitter that if you ever
Out of
see
his
him,
territory.
I'm sorry.
He's out of his territory.
Well, he's the floor manager.
Florida.
So,
Yeah, out of Florida. But yeah.
but yeah, Jabali said on Twitter like if you see him, definitely ask him for a photo.
That man loves
and now-
attention.
Yes, he does. And I was in like a less than like positive mood because that was after the uni tournament finished, and as it is for me normally, I don't feel super great about a tournament that I ran until like sometime after the fact. So it was nice to see him get the picture.
Okay, here you go, team.
Right.
On the top left, that's the real Karushi smile. And on the
Yes.
bottom right, that's the fake Karushi smile.
No, no.
That's a way to put it.
So now you can tell the homework is to find out which ones in between are real and fake.
Oh, hell no.
Cool captcha.
Some detective work there. But yeah, is this the time and place to talk more about the Uniclear Community Showcase? Or should I
Sure,
save
this
that?
is it.
Okay, sure. So there was a lot of stuff that happened on Thursday. Friday was like my rest day because after the Thursday events, I did not want to run it on Friday, and it was like convenient in that regard. But anyway, it happened on Saturday. My bracket runners didn't show up, so I had to
Nice.
grab aside some people that were willing to help and then onboard them with the volunteer stuff that Evo had because sadly the community showcase was not doing their own thing this year. We had to be a part of Evo officially. And despite our being part of Evo, Uniclear was only given an official top 6 production and stream. And it wasn't even on the stage, by the way. And it's noteworthy that it wasn't on the stage because the people at Evo already knew that Uni2 had the information and like had the reveal and all of that, right? So the fact that we weren't on the stage with that in mind was pretty interesting to say the least. But we received a pod production, which is just basically a normal table with some professional cameras and stuff. Thankfully, it was still able to be streamed on my own channel, which I think was still like a huge victory because that allows me to own the footage. It sounds like something that's not significant, but anyway, with all that happened, I think that was a big deal. But yeah, my bracket runners didn't show up. I had a lot of help from the community members and from the community showcase people themselves, so that was great. But I still had to be on my own for the stream, which was also hard to manage with the 2 concurrent pools per wave, of which there were 2 waves, each of which was 2 hours, which was a total of 6 hours if you include the top 6. And the fact that it was only top 6 made it even more disappointing, because the loser side top 8 matches were fantastic, and I think it would have been great to see that on the official production. It just felt like Evo didn't help us in the way that we would have expected, given that Vortex Gallery had to make some sacrifices to be a part of Evo themselves. But that's as far as I can say without overstepping my boundaries. But it was great overall. It was a good tournament. The matches themselves were great. The experience was not as much, but the good thing is we made it to the end. We got it done, and that was a success. People were happy that it was run successfully, so I think that was a success in that regard.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Evo. It feels like they're a little overstretched, but they're it's a big event. They're trying to make money, I guess. I don't know. With all these little games, it's kind of a fan effort, so they just kind of let you guys do what you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see that you're playing stuff from DreamHack. I can just upload photos I have from the community showcase too. But yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't find the right thing to put, so I'm like, there's just some uni out here.
No, you're
There
good.
we go.
But yeah, if anyone else wants to say stuff, yeah.
I joined the plus. Are we talking about the community showcase or like top six? Like,
Not
Well-
top 6 yet.
oh, not yet.
I was talking about the top 6 for my tournament.
Yeah,
which is
as long as it's not the big tournaments, you can talk about it.
Oh yeah, so I joined the Plus R side tournament. It was good. They just took a while because a lot of people entered like a lot of other games at the same time. I have TO'd before, like at a different local, not at Evo, but where people are signed up for like 5 different games, and then you have to go and find them. And if they happen to be good at all these games, they take forever, and it holds up the bracket. So I can't really blame them there. What was I gonna say about the side tournament? Oh, stop changing the name of the side tournaments. I honestly could not find
Vortex
it.
Gallery?
Look, I could not find that on Start GG, Smash GG, whatever that trash website's called. I couldn't find it. It was so tough. Stop changing the name. I don't want to have like 5 different names for the same thing basically.
I didn't like Anime Evo, but I do like Anime Evo. But I do like Vortex Gallery. I wish that came back.
This is like some Kojima crap where they have like 5 different names for the same guy. Like, come
The
on.
Lale Lule Lo!
Lolly Lule Low.
Yeah, the side tourneys do tend to take up a lot of space. It does hold up the brackets. Like this one player named RF, who was like a Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom player. I had to expedite his match because he was also participating in Plus R. So it was just me, just like, all right, you're gonna stay here for the entire time and just like beat all these other players so you can play Plus R and hopefully get like 10th place.
I mean, RF is no low-profile player either, so I think that's a difficult situation to deal with.
Yeah, that's some top player privilege there, Phil. You got care to explain yourself?
No, it was on my when we're TOing, we have these notes where it states conflict of brackets because we do have players who do brackets at the same time. So they either, let's just say like they're playing Street Fighter, but then they have to go up to a different, bracket. Like let's say like they're also playing Guilty Gear Strive. So as TOs, we're just like we can't DQ them yet until they verbally confirm that they want to be DQ'd, or they just literally just don't return. So,
What do you guys think about just making it Evo week?
Nah, a week
No.
is too long.
Too much?
too long.
It's like a Capcom Cup type thing that they tried to do that no one really liked.
I think they just need an extra day, and that would be perfect. Because right now, as it stands right now, Sunday, the venue's not open, and I think that is like that's just like a huge opportunity lost for majority of people that don't care too much for the Sunday arena finals. I guess they're trying to sell tickets, right? But if they could just make it Thursday through Sunday, and still
I mean,
go ahead.
We have Evo Day now.
Yeah, that's
August
some nonsense.
6th.
That's some
Come on.
nonsense, man.
It's a holiday, August 6th.
Great holiday, don't count.
Yeah, don't buy that. That's even worse than esports. That's like government sports.
See if you
Yeah.
can take Evo Day off of work, though. Say you're observing it. Could be watching all top A VODs today. Sorry, boss.
I mean, okay, that's kind of what I'm doing this week because I don't go back to work till Monday.
Nice. All right. Any last comments on the floor or celebrities you met or whatever?
Oh, I have actually. You guys know who Poke Chop is?
Yes, the second player.
Yeah, so I have a funny story. So me and 3 other people were trying to go back to the hotel, but the hotel system when it comes to like the elevators is so jank. Like honestly, and we're trying to head up, right? So me and this one guy were like trying to rush into the elevator. Next thing you know, Poke Chop's there, and all of a sudden we just run in there, and the two of the other people I was with were just left behind. They're just like, "Wait, dude!" And then the elevator just closes. Here, Poke Chop is on his phone, and you know, with the card, like if you guys don't know, when you're in a hotel, you have a you have a card that has a specific floor, and you can only go to that specific floor and nowhere else. And and if you were to like press, if it was like, let's say, floor 30, you can only press floor 30. Any other button, it will not work. So Poke Chop is just on his phone. He's just like, "Where you at? Which floor you at?" And he starts mashing buttons. And for some god awful reason, one person had access to the 64th floor. So we just shot up all the way to the 64th floor, and it's an awkward silence with Poke Chop just button mashing everything that tried to work. It's like, "Bitch, what floor you on?" And we're just like looking at Poke Chop, and it's like a sticky floor, and we're just like, this is the awkwardest situation I'm in with like Poke Chop, and he's just like just losing it as he's just like, we just shot up to like the highest floor.
So I'm
And
still
next
stuck in that hotel.
Yeah, we just like just like it's a nightmare. Like we just want to go up to our friend's hotel, and he's just like panicking. He's like, "I don't know what floor it is," and he starts, yeah. And then next thing you know, we just get out of there. I'm like, I don't want to be in their room anymore, man. So we just like Poke Chop behind. He just hopefully got to the floor he needed to.
Godspeed, Poke Chop.
Ugh.
All right, I think it's finally time. Retro Raid, I hope you can return soon with your vitriol, because it's time to talk about the top six, which is a cute way
Mirror
of saying we're
match.
going to complain about the finals now.
Mirror match, baby.
Well, to get us started, I could say that like the best top 6 is free were SF6, KOF15, and Lumina in that order, and then the rest were like okay or garbage. So
Hey, yo, someone bring that tweet. Someone bring that picture. All the mirror matches in every Evo game.
yeah, and that honestly that was just unfortunate of a coincidence. That wasn't really like, I mean it you know, of course.
I have thoughts on that.
Is it a coincidence?
I mean it's okay, some of it is like, yeah, this is esports, right? But I think, for example, the KOF one, that one was not like, that one hardly represents how the top 6 went. Same thing for
but seeing a Cronin mirror is not a coincidence.
Cronin's good. I play Cronin because he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
yeah, but that grand finals was still like awesome. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Where up?
And at least
That
they
was-
were different teams, unlike Dragon Ball.
right, exactly. And it also unlike Marvel 3. Marvel 3 had a very underwhelming grand finals, and honestly, it's pretty unfortunate, right? Because the game is making its triumphant return, and it has one of the most sleepers, snooze fest grand finals, and even like top 6 in general, save for KBR.
Oh,
And all
I
this
wanted
life-
that Iron Fist to finish his combo. That was dope.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
Spartan Throne,
tragic.
dude. Oh, Spartan Throw's run was so sick. If you guys didn't even see like the earlier top 48 stuff, that was probably the best part of the Marvel tournament, and unfortunately, that was the day prior, so it was hard to make it a continuous flow
Okay,
from
we're
that.
going
day.
Marvel first. We might as well.
Sure.
Let's
Yes,
talk about
let's
Marvel
go.
top 6. Don't say top
Yeah.
8 in my presence.
No, I yes, understood. Before the arena finals even started, they showed a whole anime episode, like zero context. Like I just thought I'd throw that in there because it was pretty funny. No one knew what it was, or what it was for, but some people knew what it was. Anyway, Marvel 3 top 6. Apparently, the 2 people that just missed the top 6, that is, they were eliminated at top 8, were both Moridoom players. So that would have helped a lot with increasing the diversity, despite the fact that Moridoom is not too exciting to watch either. It would have at least balanced out the Zero May Cry stuff, right? The Zoop Zoop. And plus, it's not just combos. It's like Moridoom is like you're navigating neutral and you're trying to find a way in. The matches themselves in the Marvel top 6 were great, except for losers finals. I think it was no. basically whenever Evasion played against Jabril, I think those matches were kind of
Oh, you
bad.
mean grand finals?
Yeah, basically only grand finals. I mean, I think the rest of them were fine, right? Because KBR had some hype ones. I was screaming my mouth off for the Hagar combos. There was also some cool moments that.
KBR is a fun team too. It's not like
Yeah,
super
it's
meta or
esports.
anything.
Yeah, I mean it's esports in the good way. Like, Zero May Cry is the esports in the bad way. Like this is like you're trying to win and you're just trying to play the clinical, boring, kill everybody with your zero mix-ups and
Yawn.
combos. Yeah, legit snoozer, right? But it's just unfortunate. No, I mean the same could be said for Nova, right? And Nova's not that fun to watch either. But the Novas never got started. And Liberal Terminator had a lot of nerves involved in that. Mundink as well just sort of iced himself, I think. But if you look at like Spartan Throne actually got stuff going. It was just the unfortunate drop that really hurt his momentum. And then of course Jabril is literally just like a robot. So, if you, yeah.
I'm hoping so like some Marvel players can answer this question I have, but I was like rooting for Liberal Terminator because he's like a up and coming guy. He's like pretty new. But is there a reason why he like chose to get like point blank with Nova within grab range and then just do that every single round start?
Because you kind of have to. Nova has to get in. But keep in mind
Like
that
it's Hulk. Like you're gonna get in, right? Anyways, but like why start like within throw range?
it's beyond that, right? Though it's a bad matchup for Nova because it's actually a bad matchup for that whole team, to be honest.
Really?
And yeah, Liberal Terminator usually loses against KBR. The issue with Nova against Hulk is that Nova has strong single hitting moves, and Hulk has armor that goes through those single hitting moves.
I see. Okay.
So it's just terrible. It's from 99. It's terrible for Nova, and you can see that the minute the air throw started at round start, it was over. Like that's how it works.
Yeah. So it's just a gamble. It's either you win it or you lose it.
Precisely. And Nova has the best air throw in the game, but even he's susceptible to getting air thrown and dying. Yeah.
You guys are haters. Zero May Cry is such
What?
a cool team.
Oh my
I mean, I think
god.
How am you call me the hater? You're calling me. I'm just saying what's true. I'm just saying.
It's like, this is a fun team to watch. This is great.
Okay,
Bro.
you're clearly not a Marvel player or watcher.
Not a Marvel
I mean,
player.
BK thought it was cool.
Hey, this
He's
is
a
better
Marvel
than
player.
watching a dumb Phoenix come back.
I mean, no comment on that, but
No comment.
Come on.
like Jabril deserved it. Jabril deserved it. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
You want to watch Chris Z zoning though?
I do.
Is that what you guys want?
I do.
To be fair, Escalante and RF, both Mordoom players, literally dropped out of top 8, so we would have been able to see that had it been top 8, right? And we would have also been able to see Spartan Throne's ridiculous comeback against RF in top 8. But instead, that was the day before.
I want an apology man at top 6.
Yeah.
He
Well,
should have
yeah.
played better.
I'm sorry?
He should have played better.
Yep, you should have played better. I mean, Firebrand's kind of hard, though, so. But yeah, was there anything else you guys thought about the Marvel 3 top 6 other than Zoop Zoop being boring?
I think it's cool. But...
Do you think the game will come back any future year?
I can't
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
No, I think
probably.
it's done. I think this was it.
How do you guys think of the commentary? Because that was something we talked about at the arena, the guys that were there. We talked about the commentary being some way, and I'll say that how that
Was the
after you guys went.
commentary the same for in person as it was on the stream?
I think
Yes.
it was this year.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
it's in
because
person.
previous Evos, the
Yeah, not
commentary
last year.
on the stream was different than the in-person commentary.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Because I remember Juna was commentating like live, but he wasn't commentating the stream. It was someone else.
No, yeah, in this case, it was Tong and Combo Fiend commentating the stream, and we heard him in the arena. But you guys then had any strong feelings about the commentary or any thoughts that you'd like to get in there?
No, I
I
think,
think it's just a shame Tong lost his voice. It looked like he was really struggling.
I think, okay, yeah, on that. So I think Tong, like, for me personally, I didn't have any issues with the way his voice sounded. I watched the stream over, though, and I can see what he was saying personally, but I didn't find it to be any issue. I had a lot of issues with Combo Fiend's commentary, though. And obviously, he's not as experienced with commentating, especially for top 6 finals, but I think that they should have brought in like Proxy or someone else. Combo Fiend wasn't well prepared, I don't think. Like he has some knowledge that he retained from the days he was playing the game, but a lot of the stuff he was saying was definitely like boilerplate. Like, oh, look, will he drop the combo? Like I thought that
Yeah,
was pretty
he
annoying.
said that quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought that was that was pretty annoying. And Tong was trying to salvage things a bit, but it's difficult, especially when you're trying to keep things esports, keep them professional. You know, I wasn't too happy with Combo Fiend's commentary, but you know, it's fine, I guess. Okay, smart guy. Let's see you take a crack at it. In fact, I have.
Damn.
Not at Evo, but you know, I've tried commentating that game. It's not easy to commentate. I'll admit that. Anything else, Marvel 3?
If you looked at the character usage coming in, it was a huge skew towards, you know, Nova, Virgil, Doom. So I'm ready for MVC4.
Sure. I think Marvel.
The game's not going to develop any more than this, in my opinion, in my new opinion.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I think it's interesting to see that Zero ended up taking it like in pretty convincingly over the Morrigan. And the reason for that would probably be just, you know, Zero combos, you learn them and you can just do them, right? Morrigan, you have to have your hands like, okay, good night, Zenruka. Your hands have to be well well oiled for the whole day, and you know you have to kind of circumvent the fatigue that would come with that. And not only that, but you're also making a lot of decisions pretty quickly with Morrigan. Whereas Zero, you know, you get the hit and you just do the same combo. So.
Yeah, Morgan, you gotta adjust on the fly too, depending on how they're trying to swat you.
Exactly.
Zero, you just fireball and jump.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Okay, any last comments on the UMGC3 finals team?
I just have a thing about all these mirror matches. They're not specifically Marvel because I don't think developers care necessarily about balance in Marvel, right? But I think I like the mirror matches because it shows all the bad balancing decisions fighting game devs make. It kind of exposes all the bad practices, and I'm
Okay.
glad that it's very obvious.
EGP, I'll make a quick comment on that. Marvel 3 is balanced, but it's not balanced because they made good balancing decisions. It's balanced because like just inherently everyone has grime of some kind. A lot of characters can touch with death, so that's what balances everything out.
I mean, I would give Marley the excuse because I think that the game is I how do I say this nicely? I don't think their balance is the #1 priority. It's more about, okay, let's make some broken shit, right? And if it works, right? That's how I feel.
I don't think the game was broken on purpose, though. That's the thing. Anyway,
It's also old. It was pre-balance.
That's a tangent.
Before balance existed.
Exactly. Okay. I think that's it.
Okay, we got a big one out of the way. Let's do a couple. Did anyone watch MK11?
No.
Okay, so
I did hear the outcome though. The Chilean twins that were dominating the second half of the game's lifespan were their dominance came to an end through Ninja Killa, who's considered currently the best MKX player and I guess now the current best MK11 player.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I did happen to see them when they ended up playing each other, and they were just BMing. They were like using revivals on each other.
Yeah, the Chilean twins, because they got first and second place last year, I believe.
Which is pretty crazy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But Ninja Killa, he's the GOAT of NRS next to Sonic. I mean, we'll have to see who's the better player in the next game, but that'll be exciting.
Okay, so their grip was broken. It was another mirror, though, surprisingly.
I mean, he's considered one of the best characters. I don't know about the best. I'm not up to date on the meta, but I think he's like top 5.
They gotta stop calling RoboCop low tier. I see that character all the time.
He's cool though. He's got a gun.
He was in last year's top 8, I believe. RoboCop.
He's still in top 8.
Oh, I didn't watch this year, so.
Okay, and then did anyone watch Dragon Ball?
Oh, rewind real quick.
Dragon Ball. Hikari won. Woohoo!
for Dragon Ball, it was going on during Unuclear Pools, and they made a lot of noise. They like you could
Really?
hear that in the stream. Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's all I can say about Dragon Ball.
Another mirror match.
It's crazy that the entire team was a mirror. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I mean-
you guys have any comment about that. There was no lab coat though, right? So they did it. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, that game's super esports. You know, I guess noteworthy, as you can see in the stream, that those of you that are watching it, and we'll see the archive as well. FlyQuest sponsored player made the top 6, and that's noteworthy for them mostly because they were doing a little initiative, I think, of some kind, where if you made like some finals or something, then you can come and claim like $200 or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's how KBR got the quote unquote sponsorship with them, and that's how a few other players put their names in
This was
the
more of a-
FlyQuest. Yeah, go ahead.
This was more of a random thing. Why did they get rid of the flags for top 6? It was really hard to see what country people were from. It was like, at that point, why include it if it's that hard to see? Like, when I was watching the games in person, I was like, oh, I don't know what country they're from. I don't know. I can't even see. I can't even, like, look and guess, right? Because the font was just, like, terrible. And it was really small.
You got me.
And then some of these some of the acronyms, like, can you even find out? Like, I didn't know what like, I know Angry Bird, he did good in Street Fighter 6, but I don't know what country he was from. I didn't know what that shit was.
United
So-
Arab Emirates.
Yeah, UAE.
I couldn't figure out what that meant, even when I had my phone. So
Hmm.
bring back the flags. I don't know why they changed it and they didn't give an explanation.
So if you saw a flag, you would know what country it is.
Yeah, no, you could see from far away. Because again, you were watching the games on a big projector, right? It is so hard to see what country it's from. Like, I mean,
I'm saying, like, if you saw the UAE flag, you would know what country that is.
yeah,
Okay.
I think, I swear.
Cap,
I swear I
make
would
a
know.
cap.
That's what I was getting at.
Hey, but it's better. That's better than putting AE as the acronym.
I mean, people know what UAE is.
Yeah,
so
I
you
think
know.
you're the minority there. But I do
Yeah.
agree, like, it is harder to read because they're both on white backgrounds. They're both in, like, blue lettering. Like, I get it if you it can be hard to see from a distance, but yeah.
All right. EGP wants to know where you're from, so he can hate on you.
Hate on your region.
Hate on your region. Moving on from Dragon Ball, we had Melty Blood, which was notable because it had Tekken in it.
Oh,
Dude, that was it was so sick. I didn't watch the full thing. Actually, I did watch the full thing because before the plane back home, I was watching it with Cross-Side at his place, and it was even sicker watching it back over. I think the matches. By the way, I'm hearing myself from EGV. I think it is. I think the matches were really close, and what made it even like more awesome was that there was NA representation for once. You know,
Nice.
Jimmy J Tran, not the one we expected to
my
have
God.
NA representation.
I was so
though.
hyped.
Go!
Yeah, I mean that was the best story. Okay, see you, Lourdes. That was the best storyline of the entirety of Saturday, probably. The fact that everyone knows who this player is, but no one knew of his skills in this game. So seeing his run was insane, and the fact that he double jeopardied the EVO 2022 champion,
That
like
was crazy.
that's
Holy
unreal.
shit.
Like it's pretty insane to think of that. Like how often do you see that happen, right? But yeah, if any of you want to say more on that.
Dude, at least from the Tekken side of things, we didn't know where he was for like years. We were wondering where
He
was
vanished. He like actually vanished. From
We
the
didn't
face of
know,
the earth.
and then
didn't
he
enter any
showed
Tekken,
up.
Anything.
He got DQ'd from Tekken because he was I guess it was a miscommunication. And he said on Twitter he likes both games. But he's now we know where he is, and he got top 3 in a non-Tekken game. Like,
Yeah.
He's
He did
dope.
show up at EVO Japan when Melty,
He
but I don't
I think he went 3-2 in Melty in Evo Japan.
Yeah.
He did a lot better at this year's Evo.
I guess he was just not in the right headspace because he also like drowned in pools in Tekken, which is crazy to think about.
Wait, are you talking about Evo this year?
Evo Japan.
Evo Japan. Evo Japan.
Oh, Evo Japan. Okay. Well, yeah, Evo this year apparently there was some issue that caused him to be DQ'd. That was what was happening. Like he intended on playing in Tekken, but you know that's a separate thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I know the person that got him DQ'd. I'm not leaking it though.
Yeah. Please not. Please don't.
Oops.
The grand finals was as it goes with all the other mirrors that happened on the weekend, or most of them at least.
Rio
It was
stomp.
pretty boring. Yeah, it was a
A
stomp.
lot of
It was
the
boring.
mirrors for grand finals were 3-0 stomps.
Yeah, and Roa is a character that is naturally like going to be boring in the mirror, so it was unfortunate. But
Ro's
the
a
rest,
very, very aggressive, very cheap character. He's also a top
Yep.
tier in that game now. He's
Exactly.
like top 1, isn't he?
literally the best character. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought
it's
that was
the
long.
top 1 characters fighting each other. I can't think of anyone who's excited for that ever.
Right. Yeah, and both of them from Japan. you know.
It depends on the game. I don't know Melty, but I feel like top tier mirrors can be interesting. It's when you make your games like when you've had like what 20 years to learn, 20 plus years to learn how to balance a game, and you don't learn. This is what happens.
No, I mean it's not like Roa's far and above the best character. I mean he's the best character, but like there are clearly other characters that can contest him. It's just that he's another level of, you know, this character's cheap and can do like why does he have a DP? Like come on now, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess what was interesting about all these mirrors is it wasn't a Leroy situation, right? It wasn't 6 or 7 out of 8 were
Yeah.
the top tiers for any of them.
hmm
But it still kind of sucks that the top 2 spots are these guys.
hmm And those two play against each other quite often, Moai and Dai. So,
Mhm.
or whoever it was, but yeah. Oh yeah, why wasn't Uni 2 announced with MBTL top 6?
That would make
that
sense.
That one annoyed me a lot, yeah. But I did see Komone in this among the spectators. Like he wasn't even in the crowd, like the seats. He was just standing and watching. So I think he was trying to, you know, just enjoy himself that day. So maybe.
He's like, I just want to relax. Don't make us do this. Don't make me work.
Yeah, I mean he worked most of the day at the Arxes booth, so it kind of makes sense, I guess. But it still would have been nice to have that announcement together with MBTL.
Okay, so moving on, let's go to KOF finals. We have the KOF 15 finals.
The best top 6 of Saturday, easy.
Ooh.
True. That literally every match was good. There and none of you can say otherwise. Like if you, I know you haven't watched it. If you're saying otherwise, that's
Wow.
basically what.
I don't think it was the best top 6, but it was good.
Oh no, I'm saying like in terms of every match was good. Like sorry, yeah. If you don't think it's the best top 6, that's fine. Of Saturday, that's fine. But I think every single match in the top 6 for KOF is definitely good. If you also don't know about the way the crowd was going insane for Mexico because Güero had a good run. He I think made top 4, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Might have, yes, top 4, yeah, yeah. And by the way, that's like really, considering the players in that bracket, it's really impressive because even though Mexico is one of the strongest KOF regions, they still have difficulties against China and Taiwan. So Güero's run was like really strong, and you have a player like Logia as well, who's one of the top KOF players in 15, and he didn't even make top 6. So I think that goes to show that, like, you know, Mexico made a name for themselves and carried NA on its back. Xiaohai, though, as usual, it was a walk in the park for him, I think. It wasn't like as much as it was for Evo Japan, but some context for that. He had a kid. He got married sometime earlier, and he had a kid in between Evo Japan and Evo. So I think that, plus the fact that SF6 released, caused people to think that okay, maybe he's human, maybe it won't be a walk in the park for him this time around. But nah, little
Nope.
did they know.
Damn.
Little did they know.
He also had
Wow.
the tech, the
Yeah,
safety
the
gear.
box.
You
I was
can't
about
see
to
my
say.
influence tech.
That was a
lot
big
of
deal. You're going to.
A lot of Tekken players did that as well. I think
Really?
he's a genius. Xiaohai's like I love
Genius.
the contraption, which was just the box for his stick. But I think it's really cool.
Do you think it
It's-
actually does something? You think people do input read that way, like a
Yeah.
peripheral?
People do. People
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Subconsciously, they do it. I think like sound dampeners would help out too.
Yeah, you get those quiet buttons.
I mean, to
Yeah.
be honest, headphones do enough, I think, already for that.
Yeah, but some
Um,
people don't wear them.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. That's true. I mean, for Xiaohai though, like he's a player that has good reactions, so I think the box helps him a lot. Because if he's reacting to something, then people might start predicting a bit more. Like they're like, okay, I kind of think you're gonna do it here, so let me not do that, and then they end up seeing him inputting something. So they're like, okay, let me really not do that. So the box definitely helps a player like him. I do think that most of it though was to psych his opponent. Like if you see that
What's
box,
going
then you're
on?
like even more scared. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think it was more so that than anything else, but it still had an impact for sure.
It was also pretty swaggy that he used his Evo stick.
Yeah, good for him, honestly, because most people just put that away in some like briefcase or something, or like some, protective
Yeah,
compartment.
they used to give those to the Smash players that won. They didn't have anything to do with it.
Thanks. What are we eating dinner on this or something?
But yeah, it was a good top 6. ET played really well actually, but again, Xiao is just on another level.
I saw that KOF
Okay.
tier list where they put all the characters. Who's at the top? Xiaohai.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
So yeah, that was a
Other than
fun one.
Oh, the commentary was good. Sorry, I forgot to mention. The commentary was good for KOF and for MBTL. I think it was
Yes.
awesome. Majin Obama killed it on MBTL. Jalen
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
When
And
does
then
he?
right, when doesn't he exactly? But even esports doesn't hold him back. Even like
Oh
it
yeah.
does.
He will never get held back by esports ever.
Right.
I love Majin
Yeah, yeah.
Obama.
But the commentary was good for that, and Jalen did well too for that. And then for KOF, Hell Pockets, and I think it was Colt MX. It was good hearing them again because they did. I think that duo did commentary at EVO Japan, if I recall correctly, for the English stream. I might be misremembering. It might have been last year, but regardless, they did good on commentary again. And the most important part for bridging the gap between new viewers for commentating is to ensure they don't feel alienated by any like weird terminology. But I think they did a good balance of bringing in some KOF isms with ensuring that people could stick with it and understand what's going on with the hype moments and all of that. So I think they did a great job.
Cool, cool. Next we have Tekken.
Ooh wee!
Ooh. Where do we start?
Oh boy.
There was 2 Americans in top 6, which is actually really crazy because last year
No euros, free
Oh,
you,
Europe! Free!
free you.
If you don't know, we were getting clown on last year because Super Akuma made it to top 8. This year, top 6, even top 8. No US. I mean, not no EU, but I know Kuni is the big what's it called? The big elephant in the room, right?
Well, I don't think anyone was
She's
really
lame.
saying that much before this.
She's lame. She's really good. I think Arslan was complaining she was bad. Clearly, she's not.
You stuck with her.
Honestly, she carries people. I'm gonna consider playing her just because she's so good.
Yeah, so here's some backstory. So, yes, we do have the 2 Americans, Anakin and Genghis Khan, and they're both from Atlanta. So, Atlanta has a pretty good Tekken scene, and they're pretty good for what they do. And yeah, like it actually did get some attention from WWE Raw. If I posted a link earlier, I could post it here again. And yeah, we did actually have some wrestlers come to the Evo event, and I met. I think one of them was playing like King at like a vendor, but still, it was pretty awesome to have them get noticed by like a different audience. Yeah, so yeah, Kunimitsu is a very different character. Like Kunimitsu is like not just a weapons-based
She's lame.
character. She also has very different
Best movement
movement.
into the game. best move in the game.
Yes,
Also,
literally the best
she,
move in the game.
She also just does so much damage. Her mix-ups are amazing. She's like, there's literally like no weaknesses with her, basically. She's also a small character, too, so some things just don't work on her.
So, the I'll put it this way: the crowd excitement, like if you had the, obviously the Americans, like there's a lot of excitement, and even like the Korean players, like there is some relative excitement. But the moment like the Americans were eliminated, you can tell the Americans, like the audience was just like half the size of excitement, and just knowing that you have a Kunimitsu matchup, it's just like the energy just died out. Like for me, I literally was sleeping during grand finals. That's how boring the matchup was. Like I was just slouching in my chair, just like on my phone. I was just super bored because I'll put it this way: I was working to get tickets for one of my training buddies, and he goes by Strike Mist. He has never been to Evo Grand Finals. And this was my opportunity to give back to him by giving him a free ticket because, I want him to experience Grand Finals. And when we all arrived there, it was just like, what is this? This is not Grand Finals. Where's the hype? It's just Kunimitsu mirrors. I mean, sure, there's like one geese, character, and probably I don't remember if it was Kuma, but like still, this is just like super boring ass Tekken. It was bad,
It's
Yeah,
funny
it could've
that
been
even
good
Kuni
vibe.
mains can't block the spinning low sweep.
Yeah, that's true.
You're like, what
Two
is this
things.
shit?
It was, by the way, they stopped selling the top 6 Sunday tickets for like 2 months because they ran out. So Evo try to fix that, and then second, you'll notice that Ulsan and Mayoil, the Korean players, they have their jackets over their inputs, over their sticks. So they do that because I guess they were claiming the Pakistan players were looking at their inputs, like hearing them and like seeing them and getting advantages off that. So you'll see that. Yeah, you'll see right there.
So we have a mutual named Young Lumpia. He's not only a good player, he's a very good analyst. So this is what he picked up. So when he was playing with when we were talking with like the Filipino players, they don't. Oh, I'm hearing some echo. They don't just rely on like frame data and stuff. They actually the Filipino players learn that the Pakistani players actually learn body language and your breathing patterns and your stick movements. They take an overall picture of who you are, and they use that against you. And the Koreans like realize that like they actually are listening to your they're actually paying attention to you while they're
Full-scale
playing.
warfare.
So yeah, like I mean, covering up your stick, it's like it is a good strategy to keep out like from them to like listening to your button inputs, like how Arslan Ash got riled about the other KOF players purposely inputting dead buttons, and then you have like they actually are paying attention. So sure, like the jacket method is suggestive, but it works to an
It's
extent.
not the best look.
Or you could just
There it
switch to
goes.
hitbox and use
Wicca,
silent
wicca, wicca.
buttons. Because that
Well,
will do it completely.
I mean,
Then
yeah,
they
like
can't
you
look
can
at the buttons that you press.
I mean, you could silence your buttons, but keep in mind that these are professionals. They know like a majority of what the characters are gonna do and the movements of your lever and the button placements. So they'll keep note of that, and then when they do look, they can actually respond properly.
I said hitbox. There's no lever.
Oh,
How
I'm
are they
sorry,
gonna know?
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
If
thing,
you
like,
did a hitbox with silent button, there's no way they could tell, right? Because they don't know
Well, I
like
mean-
your wrist is not moving at all.
well, I mean, here's the thing, like the
Hitbox-
majority of the players were not hitbox players. They're just
Alright,
very
You're still
old.
moving too. I could see that in my periphery.
check it out. Hitbox, silent buttons, jack it over, head to head. Alright, they'll never look at your inputs.
You just gotta play with your leg up so they can't see.
Or Or just
Your
play on the
leg,
floor. I
put
don't
your
know,
foot
man.
right up on the table. Show a dominance.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If I may say one thing, so you know, again, I'm not a Tekken player, so I just been listening. But I thought, okay, the commentary was carried by Tasty Steve, yada yada, right? But I thought the matches themselves were pretty good up into the grand finals. Like, if there were some exciting moments,
And the
a lot
winners
of-
finals.
Oh, okay, fine, sure. I mean, yeah,
It,
but it was still,
literally a third
was the same.
of the Tekken was boring.
yeah, fair. I mean, like, it was a cakewalk for Arslan, so I think that was pretty, like, that was naturally gonna happen, kind of, right? But
That was the
Yeah.
other issue with these finals, all the mirrored finals, is there were no reset or anything.
They were all
Yeah.
3-0s, clean, like stomp 3-0s.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you were the worst Kunimitsu, and you proved it twice over. Which,
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, and it was a stomp. It's short. It was shorter than he did worse in the reset than in his winners finals run.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Genghis-Khan was
Arslan's been doing good. He won Evo Japan, so it's
Yeah, I mean-
pretty natural.
four
Arslan.
Evo champions.
Is apparently the only Tekken player to ever win 4 straight Evos for Tekken, or just 4 Tekken Evos in general.
That's crazy. Yeah, shout out to Genghis Khan for playing my character and being from the U.S.
Yep.
That's not biased, is it?
No, it's not, definitely not biased.
Any last things you guys want to say about Tekken? This is its farewell. This is the end of Tekken 7.
Yeah, it's the end. I'm gonna kind of miss it because
It won't miss Kuni.
No, we will definitely not miss Kunimitsu.
DLC characters winning. That's a proud tradition.
Yeah, pay to win unless you're Anakin. So
Well, speaking of DLC characters winning, next we have Strive. The Strive top.
I
6.
regret not just going back to my room and sleeping during Strive Top 6. Somehow I stayed there and was on my phone for
That's
no
really
reason.
shocking to me that you were the one that stayed there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know Albert and Big Monkey and Zenroku. I didn't know they left. I should have
You
done
can just
that.
leave.
Yeah.
Hit the bricks.
The issue I had too is that I asked like 3 different people that were part of the arena staff, and they all gave me different forms of answers of saying whether I could leave and re-enter. And unfortunately, I timed it such that it was during Strive, so it made me less confident that I could leave. But then, in fact, I could leave, right? So I was like, okay, let me get some food and let me just not even bother watching it. But I did catch the first couple of matches with Leffen bodying people with Happy Chaos, and there was also that Nago match. But you know,
Yeah, disgusting.
didn't really.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
really care.
I mean, the one thing I think everyone wants from Strive is not good play. They don't want to see good reads. They just want to see Leffen lose. Is that so much to fucking ask? Yeah, he's always there threatening every year to fucking get an Evo championship. And this year, all these Strive players who think they're good fucking sucked. They all died to Happy Chaos.
Dark timeline.
It's
Yeah.
true.
But also, I'll say this: Leffen's path through top 6 was a Kai and an Eno, and then
Yeah, like his
a Naga.
best matchups.
Yeah, it was literally the easiest fucking path he could possibly have. It was
Not
like
only-
wish fulfillment.
Not only did he pick top 1, but he picked like the best possible matchups for that top 1.
It was ridiculous. And these guys are all 3 people he played are these like character specialists who got nothing else.
Someone explain to me why Umisho switched from Happy Chaos to Soul. Someone explain that to me. It just-
I mean, they still
You're
got to the
rolling.
top 6, so it was working out for them. But yeah, Happy Chaos is better.
Low key, I wanted to see the Happy Chaos mirrors in Grand Final.
I
thought
was
that
looking
shit would
forward
be
to that.
Funny. Right,
it's worth that
Umisho versus
price.
Leffen.
If Leffen loses, it's worth
if that
it.
happened, I think Strive would implode.
And I wanted to see Ken mirrors in Street Fighter as well. I mean, Strive is Strive. It's doing its thing. I felt like I was watching the Grand Finals, and I was like, dude, how is this guy supposed to win against Happy Chaos?
He
Like,
can't. There was nothing he could do. But it also, I'll just say this: Nago can win that matchup because he's explosive. But he looked like he didn't know how to play the matchup in that Grand Finals. Nieverhammer.
Doesn't make sense since he's played that matchup before.
Yeah, he's done it a lot, but he was totally outplayed, totally outclassed.
I guess Leffen was just better that day.
Yeah,
Also,
Leffen was better.
I didn't know Leffen played the game this much. I thought he was like a Smash player. You
No,
know?
this is his game now.
Yeah,
I think he
this is
left.
it.
Like he pretty much left.
Makes sense. He's a Smash player. That makes a lot.
Yeah, Strive is a Smash game. Get with the
That's
get
true.
with the program.
It's been proven now. Yeah. So we have to officially kick Strive out of the FGC. I didn't want to do this. I like Strive, but you were
next year we
supposed to
won't see
defend
it.
us, Strive players.
It'd be funny if Strive wasn't at Evo next year. That'd be hilarious.
Outside Daru Inu was also kind of like a boring composition in the top of the pools. It was just like a lot of high tier, same people we've seen over and over again. So overall, Strive definitely, like even without the Leffen narrative, easy to skip, not that exciting this year.
Mhm.
I'm a happy
Goku on
Chaos
Sudoku.
fan.
Yeah, it's fine if like there are characters that can play against him or whatever. But if you give him the easiest path, like when Daru Inu went up against him, it's just like, why are we doing this? It's like a legitimate 8-2 matchup.
I don't know. Maybe this is a ignorant question, but in a game like Strive where the rounds end really fast, right, and the character matchups are kind of crazy, why isn't everyone having like secondaries and tertiary characters?
I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. Leffen actually does have secondary characters. He plays Axel on the back end.
You know what? That's why Leffen won.
I thought
Yeah.
he played. Like, he used to play Zato, right?
It's Zato, sorry. Did I say Axel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Zato. And I think he actually tried to win with Zato before and he couldn't make it work, so he switched to Happy Chaos. But he'll still pull out Zato for problem matchups. I saw him play Zato in pools.
Interesting. Happy Chaos has problem matchups.
He does?
I know Happy Chaos hates Milia. Maybe he doesn't like Zato. I don't know. Maybe Leffen has problem matchups.
I thought he didn't like the Zato mirror. I don't know. I don't play this game enough. But yeah, if like the characters are pretty simple, so I would invest in like 5 different characters.
Right? At least have like a soul for if you're Daru Inu and you're going to be playing a Happy Chaos. But what do I know?
Happy Chaos and win.
Yeah, do that.
Alright, so we're to our final top 6, which is the GOAT, Street Fighter 6.
When is it not the GOAT, to be honest?
Retro Raid, are you there?
Oh, he left.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he came back.
Oh, he's alive.
He's
SF6.
back. He lives. We're
SF6.
talking Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 saving Evo.
True.
It's
It
true.
did save Evo.
After all these mirror matches, we finally got some just knockdown, drag out, back and forth. There's not a ton to say because, you know, Angry Bird was so dominant, but every match was good. Every match was fun.
Every match felt like a top 6, like in terms of like how good it was and like how much it was to take in.
Yeah,
Even
there's
like
a lot of back and forth.
yeah, and I think SF6 is a great game for that. So it was just a great opportunity for it to showcase the game, you know.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know about Mena switching between Luke and Blanca back and forth. I think that was pretty strange. It kind of showed that. Oh, go ahead.
I think his plan for that was trying to get Angry Bird off base because Angry Bird was so defensive
Mm-hmm.
that Mena was having trouble running his game. I think he really wanted to stick with Blanca, but he couldn't seem to get in without taking a risk and getting punished for it really bad. And Angry Bird was he played it super smart. He didn't DP or anything. He just looks like, I'll let you run out of gas and then I'll drive rush in each time.
Yeah, I think Punk was the appropriate player to do that against, but not Angry Bird. Angry Bird made the adjustments so quickly, and he clearly knew the matchup for Blanca, so I think that was unwise. I think he should have just stuck with Luke if he was gonna do something about that.
Yeah, kind of
Remember
crazy defense against all of Blanca's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
I was rooting for Tokido versus Angry Bird Grand Final. I wanted to see another mirror.
And what's funny is Tokido plays Ken completely differently, right? Tokido was so wild.
I think
Every time
Tokido
he's like, I got the read, I'm DPing.
looked pretty weak that day, but he had some favorable matchups, experience-wise, so it helped him along the way. Like, you know, Kakaru still needs some time at, you know, the high-profile stage, but he looks pretty good himself. It's just that last moment where
I think
he choked.
someone recreated that moment in training mode, and like I kid you not, it was like 1 frame off from the spike hitting Tokido.
Oh, you hate to see it, man. Yeah, I mean Tokido was an opportunist, and as he should be, right? But I don't think
Yeah.
he was. I don't think Tokido looked that good that day, to be honest.
He looked like he had a hard time, especially against Kakeru. It was so close.
Yeah. I mean, Angry Bird fully deserved it. I was rooting for Mena, but mostly just for the Blanca narrative because I wanted to see a Punk Salt tweet again. But
No. Okay, this is what I wanted, and I think it would have been produced a better result. I wanted Punk Tokido grand finals, and then Punk to lose.
Oh my
Oh
dude.
shit!
Oh my
Dude.
god,
Yeah, that would have been a better tweet.
so good.
Okay. But I mean, let's
Fighting
be real.
games are
Like,
something so great.
That was the storyline that I really wanted.
let's be real. Angry Bird was clearly the best player.
Yeah.
On Sunday, so yeah, he deserved it. I think what it came to show is that resource management and knowing when to use the drive mechanics is going to be a big deal going into the future of the SF6 meta, because a lot of people were like kind of brainlessly drive rushing at CEO, but the meta started maturing very quickly from the turnaround, right? We saw Angry Bird's drive rushes be very calculated. In fact, he was going for a lot of jab checks. Someone took the stats on it. I saw it on Twitter. I wish I posted it. But basically, he went for like 50 or something drive rush jabs throughout the top 6. I don't remember the exact number, but it's something like that. And all of those were not for like the plus frames, but mostly just to check other people going for drive rush, because obviously the jab is the fastest option you can do off of it. And plus the fact that you move forward a little bit allows for you to sort of play footsies in a safe manner while still avoiding the repercussions of drive impact. Speaking of which, Mena was so free to drive impact. Thought I'd mention that. Someone else pointed that out to me. I think it was Cross-Eyed. That he literally didn't react to a single drive impact except for like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think this top 6 kind of finishes the conversation on like, oh hey, can you react to it or not? These are the best people. These top 6, they cut through 6,000 people, and hella people in this top 6 ate drive impact. Everyone did. They just
Angry
stood
Bird,
there and ate it.
it's so bad too because Angry Bird was like a very intelligent player, and I felt bad for him that he felt the need to just use the drive impact because he knew that his opponent was just not going to react. Like
That's fighting games, bro.
well, I know it is. Again, like I'm not complaining, dude. I felt bad for him because I know he's a very good player and he played very intelligently throughout the day. It's just that the fact that some of his matches got reduced to, oh, you didn't react to the drive impact, buddy, get wrecked.
That's a part of being smart, though.
Sure.
Doing
Yeah,
what
find the
your
weakness.
opponent can't beat.
Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still pretty early in SF6. This is like 2 months now, so we'll start to see more people fresh up their skills.
I'll
But
say
it was
this
a good.
too, Angry Bird won, but it was 6-4. Mena did reset
Yeah.
the bracket.
Oh yeah, I mean, Mena played well still. Again, I think he iced himself by switching over and over. He should have just stuck with the one or the other.
I think the Blanca had more of a chance. I
Yeah.
still don't think Angry Bird was quite ready for the Blanca. It didn't look like it at least.
I think Mena was a bit scared about losing momentum. That was the issue.
I think once he lost a game with Blanca, I feel like he lost his confidence. He's like, oh, am I getting figured out? I should switch.
Exactly. And that is a very bad signal to send to your opponent.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
He had a lot of data on that phone. I think the strategy which he tried out, and maybe it didn't work here, was switch up the opponent also. He knows he can play these two characters really well. I think when he's switching, I think he's looking at the combos and resetting himself. He found some way to not like make combo mistakes, even though he did still when you switch between characters.
Yeah.
And then hope that the opponent won't be able to react to the change in pace.
But I mean,
Angry Bird
yeah.
was able to.
dude, Angry Bird was just managing the drive meter so well. It felt like he always had the right amount of drive meter to get the kill, like when he needed it. And then, not to mention, like in neutral, there were a couple of times where he went for like Ken's run stop thing, and it felt like he was using a drive rush. Like that's how well he was just managing all of the tools he had available at his disposal, right? Another thing I'll say regarding the switching, apparently they switched out at EVO the PS4s during the ad breaks, so that's what probably caused them to have a lot of idle time. Also, I think they were just trying to. I said PS4. I meant PS5. I think they were trying to avoid the issues that people reported during the pools the prior days.
You know, I know this is crazy, but you could just have two PS5s up there.
Right?
I mean,
Right?
maybe they can't afford that. I don't know.
I was,
Or an Xbox, you know.
dude. I was just about to say those PS5s are melting those USB ports. That's actually really concerning.
It's not surprising though. I mean,
Oh yeah, were the PS5s standing upright or were they on their side?
for pools, they're standing upright for sure. I don't know
I was
about.
supposed to do that because that's how thermal paste leaks. Apparently, you have
Oh,
to sit it on the side because that's why it's flat.
well, there
Yeah,
you
this one, I
are.
just saw this one standing up on
That
the table
that was
here.
like an issue that's like that people found out like last year, so it's not that new.
The code has been cracked.
I've used PS5 at
Or just-
local tournaments.
Or
I've
just
had
use an Xbox.
I've had no problems with PS5 on local tournament, but yeah, that I imagine this event on a large scale like this, things are gonna happen like this. Unfortunate, because PS4 does not have this problem, or Xbox, I guess.
Yeah. Also, lower input lag on Xbox and more controller compatibility.
Xbox One Series S is great for tournaments, but
Yep.
there's just not enough people that use Xbox for fighting game tournaments. That's the sad part.
Like, one person was saying it took like 3 to 4 years for the PS5 to come out to show all these issues with the PS5. Just goes to show that no one's playing the damn thing.
Yep.
Yo.
No one could get one for a long time either.
But yeah, sorry for the tangent. Back to SF6. The commentary was good. I mean, of course, they had the marquee commentators, right? They had
It's the best
Sage
guys in the house.
Yeah, Sage M Yipes. I mean, they're literally like the best. Some of the most versatile commentators. So
Yeah, it's hard to
they're-
beat Sage Jam.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was one thing that happened in the was it the reset where Mena's controller DC'd?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I want to talk about
So yeah, this was definitely not handled properly by Evo. The rules say that in the case of this, where there's an accidental pause, the person that did not pause has to take the win. Like
Yep.
they're forced to. And
Well, there was
no,
no pause though, right?
it was a disconnect that counts.
yeah,
as a
it was
pause.
an
It does?
accidental pause, which is it's like a transitive property kind of thing. So in this case, yes, it was a pause. The issue was that Mena was trying. I guess Mena immediately sought like like consolation or understanding from Angry Bird, which Angry Bird, he's a nice guy, so he's like,
Uh-huh.
sure, you're good, right? But they restarted it immediately. So that's another issue too. They're not supposed to unpause it until a referee comes and assesses the situation, right? Because you never know what's going on with a pause, right? It could be accidental, it could be on purpose. If the referee is not aware of it, then as far as they know, then it's like it's a pause that has to be handled with the game or round loss. But given that it was at the arena on stream in front of thousands of people and they didn't address it, that was pretty surprising to me. Thankfully, it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, he quickly lost the round, so it wasn't
Yeah.
that big a deal. But well,
But still-
in my opinion, I think it was cool of Angry Bird.
Of course, I mean, and shows that he's a competitor and he's, he trusts his skills and he's a nice person. But he should have definitely taken the win still.
Yo, if I was in his situation,
I would take
Evo
it.
Grand
I
Finals,
would take it.
millions of dollars, I would take the win.
You're already
Hell,
in the money though, and you're Angry Bird. You can get.
You're
happy
using
with
a
money.
wireless controller. That's
Yeah,
your
that's
problem.
But I do remember, I think it was Strive, like an old CEO or like a combo breaker, where Nubenheimer's like control, or was it Evo? I don't remember, but like his controller disconnected mid game when they like during the game winning combo for him, and he had to lose the round and he lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and then I mean they obeyed the rules then. I don't know why not now.
Yeah. So that's just life. I mean, you just.
Oh,
gotta
it might
deal
be
with it.
Capcom Pro Tour rules.
No.
No,
No.
no. That's not a thing. Every game is like this.
Yep.
Every game, when there's a disconnect or pause, they have to take the round.
Must.
I remember it was an old Blaze Blue tournament, but Fenrich was playing it, and I think his opponent, I don't remember who it was, but the opponent accidentally like paused during the game. Fenrich's like, I take the round, and then that guy, there's like a video, I can't remember where to find the video, but like, and he's like shortly crying because it's like an accident. He didn't mean to press the button, but that's the rule. So I think Japan will definitely obey it, but because NA is too nice, they just did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say whatever the rules are, I prefer it being the choice of the opponent.
Sure, I'm okay with that personally too, but the rules should be followed, considering it's esports now. And I say now, but it's been like this for a number of years. I'm really surprised that it was brushed off.
God, I hope we
but-
don't
This
lose the big
ain't
Chipotle
esports.
contract.
This is the FGC.
No, this is esports now, dude. You saw what? I'm not. Were you watching this? Retrograde, were you watching the stream from home?
Yeah,
there,
I was.
there was that whole Evo Day announcement with the governor of Nevada or whatever, and then there was the largest esports event with that's like an open tournament. So they are esports, I can assure you, whether we like it or not. The sponsorships also kind of show that too.
I know, I'm just memeing.
Oh,
LI
okay.
Joe is so esports now, it's crazy.
I'm sorry.
LI Joe is really esports.
Oh, he's so esports. Oh dear me. Yeah.
He's been taking some of that Jabali steroid stuff.
E-games, by the way.
Shoutouts to Chipotle.
Oh, true. Okay, I should say that. I forgot. I need to say it right now. So, those of you who are at home are probably hearing that they turn on the crowd mics for the Chipotle ads. That was real. Like, at the arena, people were cheering every time. I have the recording. I'll try to upload it in the Discord. But I think at first they were, like, real cheers. Like, they were, like, genuine. Like, people were happy because, free burritos, right? But towards the end of the day, I think it was, like, sarcastic
Like,
because
ironic,
of how many
yeah.
times, how many stupid times they played those ads, dude. Like, it
Oh
was...
my god, that was great.
It was so bad. But I have the recording. I'm not sure if it fits in Discord though. Let's hope. But yeah, that was obnoxious. Like they played those ads so much, but it was cool to at least cheer for Chipotle every time because I knew I was getting my burrito right after I got home.
You know,
Yeah, there's the video.
I think this is a hot. Oh, we'll just watch the video first.
Yo, Phil, did they cheat? Did they do the Fang thing this year?
They did.
What thing?
They
the,
did.
The Fang intro.
They did.
Oh yes, we did.
Oh, did the whole arena do it?
Yeah, well,
Dude, we
I
were doing
think
this all day. Oh,
some of it.
yeah.
Yeah, some of them did it, but then it was noticed by like the commentators, like, "Ooh, I heard that scream now," that kind.
Yeah. People were doing the Fang thing.
All
Yeah.
right, because we started it last year. me, Phil, and the homies.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were doing it all day.
Suma Temple, baby.
Oh yeah, there's the Chipotle thing. I think the quality of sponsorships was good this year, but they need to find a way to not make the ads so unbearable.
Yeah.
I don't know if this can really be football. I don't think that they should have so much downtime.
Agreed.
I hope people continue to complain about that. Like, a top 6 should not take 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, how do you guys feel about top 6 versus top 8? Because this is the first kind of big tournament using top 6.
I can say a lot about it, my
Already
dude.
knows. I think
Yeah.
everyone already knows. I think it's
I think
think
that could be a
really
whole big
really
thing,
cool.
so let's keep it brief.
Yeah.
I think with like
Your
top,
I like top
immediate
8.
feelings. Top
think
8
like
has the
top
most variety. Usually those 2 losers matches are the last time you see interesting characters.
yeah. But like top 6, like a lot of the like the matches were pretty much expedited on time, so that was a good thing for logistics.
I like top 8 more. Top 6 is cool, but it's EVO, world's biggest tournament. They can find the time to make top 8s.
Well, that's precisely why I went to top 6, right? I mean, in my opinion, usually you just like stream the entire tournament run. Like we have the technology to have multiple streams and just have simultaneous matches, right?
I think.
Also,
Yeah, go.
how do I say this? Wait, yeah, I honestly was less motivated to buy this Sunday ticket, even though I couldn't even buy one, because it's a top 6. Right?
There were
you
so.
get less games and less sets.
20% less games.
And it was literally the same cost as last year. So, I think it was more, so,
Don't they jack it up every year?
I don't know.
Dude,
I just know it's
imagine
expensive.
if we saw Spartan Throne versus RF on Sunday. That would have been that would have saved Marvel 3 top 6. But, sorry, that would have saved Marvel 3 finals if we had the top 8 match on Sunday. That's really all I could say. I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, top 8 is better, but...
Yeah, I think it's unquestionable that top 8's better. Top 6,
Yeah.
you know, CCBBL streams top 6 sometimes. If it's for speed reasons, it makes sense, right? But clearly this was not. As Sarah says, they
It's for
filled that
ad.
extra time with ads, so...
It got worse throughout the day, too. Like, SF6, they had ads after every match. During Marvel 3, they definitely did not have that. And Marvel 3 is fast, by the way. I feel like the decision should have taken into account the games themselves a bit more, because the Sunday games this year were all fast. Like Tekken's the slowest one, and that's like a fast game too, and so that says a lot.
It
Whereas
could
last
also
year,
be due to the circumstances of just the 3-0 stop. You know,
I don't, I wouldn't read into that too far because we had 2 first to 3 games, and those are fast games, right? Like think about it. Oh no, I guess SS6 too. I forgot SS6 was first to 3. That kind of made up for it, right? Barely. Because it's a slower game, but it was still first to 3 the whole way.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
probably why it ran a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, they barely made it 30 minutes over. Like, I think they were trying really hard to fill the whole time, and they ended up going over because of that. Because they had all that time wasted with the band, and...
Cap jams. Woohoo!
Did you guys not
Yeah.
like the bands?
No, I absolutely hated it.
I was out of the arena when the band was there, but I knew they were there, so...
I mean, everyone loves the Street Fighter music, Street Fighter 6 music, right?
Oh my god, that
Everyone
was
loves it, right?
great.
Everyone
Oh,
wants to
boy.
hear live.
Oh boy. It's funny too, because there are a few FGC songs where you could play it and like everyone would sing along and go crazy, but
Wi-Fi Warrior and the SD crew were singing along to the Tekken, whatever.
Oh, Sparking? Yeah, same.
Yeah, Sparking. Yeah.
Oh, Sparking, yeah.
I was in the car when all this stuff happened. I didn't even know.
you're already out of there.
Because we were driving in our car that didn't have AC and I couldn't hear. So I just was watching Street Fighter Top 6 like on my phone and it was low quality and I couldn't hear. So I missed the cap chat stuff. I don't know what happened.
You did
Wow.
not miss much.
I didn't miss
Ultimate
much.
Scuffed Evo experience.
They would like
Oh.
play like a song intro for like every player that showed up. It was
Ooh.
just add more time.
Yeah, it took a while. I mean,
And
I
they
get
were
it. They're trying to go big and not go home.
Literal
Promote Ninja
esports.
Turtle. Yeah, they
Very
promote the
esports.
Ninja Turtle stuff. It was
Wait,
just
I thought the
about-
cap jams was pretty good.
Sorry,
It was also-
sorry. I should say one more thing. It's notable that Evo did this well this weekend. Like obviously our experiences aside, Evo was a success because at the same time this weekend there was also an Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, which is one of the largest CS:GO events of the year, and that event always garners the most spectators in regards to like esports that happen during that time of the year. So the fact that even Evo surpassed that in terms of viewership, I think is a big deal. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Well, Twitch numbers look like 140K or something, but I guess they have a large YouTube presence now too.
And mind you, Crunchyroll was also co-streaming.
Oh, okay.
So remember, you get all the anime audience. That's a big deal. Yeah.
We'll
guys didn't like
we'll go to Jersey
Capcom?
Mike's one day and see it on ESPN. Evo restreams on ESPN 3.
Oh yeah.
Retro Rage, what was that?
You guys didn't like cap jams?
I mean, I
I
wasn't
thought it
there.
was fine.
No,
Huh?
but we all knew what the purpose was. So that just made it annoying, right? Like they were just
What,
trying to
what
pad
was the
time.
purpose?
Promote
Adding the
Ninja
time.
Turtle skins. Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just nice. Was it really just to pad? I thought it was like
It's
a
nice to have
nice
a band, but it's
feature.
bad to have a band that you have to listen to while waiting for the next match.
It was only like 2 minutes for every like 12 minutes total, I guess. And it was for top 6, so I thought it was nice.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe
Need
your
everyone-
mind. Go ahead.
We just need everyone to do the esports pose now, right? Everything. Great.
Retro Rage, when you're sitting in the arena, the perspective definitely changes. Because when you're at home, you can just do whatever you want, right? Like you have it on. If you're not interested, you just make some sandwich or something, right? But if you're in the arena, you're getting restless. You know, you're trying to you're trying to pump yourself up still, dude. I was on my phone or playing Bleach Dark Souls during like 60% of the finals. Okay, and I was playing Bleach Dark Souls so much that my right shoulder button broke. I forgot to put that in the bot, but like it's actually still broken right now. So I'm kind of disappointed. I can't play Bleach Dark Souls on the go at the moment.
Well,
Wait,
I
what?
guess-
We aren't talking about modern Chun-Li in top 6? Yeah, I'll tell you why he lost. He lost because he looked so tired. Like he looked
Or
like he
Haitani.
aged like 5 years. You know?
I mean, Haitani looks like that all the time though. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
that
does
was
he?
kind of cool though that a modern player got that high. So I guess everyone has to shut up now.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Haitani specifically wasn't making full use of his modern advantages, and Punk kind of called him out at that. Like he was joking, half joking, but I think he was actually like correct.
Yeah,
That-
man was tired.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Dude, the
Well-
gauntlet.
Okay.
Too bad, dude. If you're gonna play modern, you got to make every advantage that you can because you don't get a lot of damage. And that was so like it was so easy to tell that like the damage is kind of holding him back because he has like good moments and then not a lot of damage off of it, so you have to get more of a good moments, right? And he wasn't able to get those good moments as often as he needed.
Yeah, the damage reduction was very evident. Like,
Yeah.
had he not had the damage reduction, he probably would have won more and might have even beaten Punk. To be
He
honest,
definitely would have been Punk. Yeah.
but
Well, Street Fighter 6 Rising, they'll get rid of the damage reduction,
true.
and then he can.
But yeah, I thought the modern Chun Li was quite interesting, and I think that
Modern Marissa's did well. I think a lot of them are not viable though.
Modern Lily's viable.
But Lily isn't viable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is so stupid. How come
dude,
modern Lily is actually like better than classic Lily probably?
Wow.
Lily
Alright,
is
so
neutral is very okay. Yeah, that's besides the topic.
what's our top
Yeah.
six? Top six. What are the two that people
When
should
are we gonna
even
get
watch?
when are we
The
gonna get
worst is like
dynamic?
Marvel vs. Capcom, hands down. Like honestly,
okay. That's I don't agree
it
with that.
was so
but
bad.
You're gonna top
I think Strive
plus
was worse.
Marvel, huh? I would top
I think
Strive.
11 was
No
worse, and I
one-
didn't even watch it.
We should delete the Guilty Gear Strive VOD for having Leffen win, so that there's no proof.
Okay, I didn't even watch Strive. I actually
Okay, Retro, come on, dude. Come on, don't do us like that. Like, if you're gonna say Marvel's the worst, you gotta at least watch the rest of them. Even if you don't,
Mortal
even if you
Kombat,
like.
no one knows.
I didn't watch it, but I know it was the worst one.
Let's go.
Nobody knows.
I didn't watch a lot of them. Best one was Melty.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Melty in the bottom or
I would
Tekken or
I would
Street
put that
Fighter.
as like my number 2 spot. I do have a bias though.
I think Melty's the best because seeing Jimmy come
I'm,
back,
I'm a diehard Jimmy fanboy, so yeah.
who isn't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least I think the good part about Melty was that it was basically good for the whole way except for the grand finals. So I'll give you that, and the commentary was good too.
I
So
think SF, KOF, Tekken, Melty, and then the others, I guess.
pretty much, yeah. Well, Marvel 3 would be like 5th for me because KBR. I'm a KBR fanboy, so you know.
Yeah,
he's-
KBR, but he lost.
He was
Nobody
in there.
he got top.
He
He
was
got
in
top
there.
3 though, dude. He lost.
Ate
He
it?
didn't. He didn't lose until the winners finals.
He should have won the whole thing.
He
then
was
I
looking
would've put
pretty
his Marvel
dominant
versus
until you
Capcom higher.
played TMC, basically.
I mean, he was literally about to like he lost the winners finals 3-2. Like he was that close. And if he had won the winners finals, I think he would have won the whole thing.
That's
Anyway.
so sad. It's very sad.
It is, yeah.
Bummer.
But I mean, yeah.
All right, so we're nixing Strive and MK11. Lucky for us, MK11 will never be back.
Woohoo.
Yeah, MK1 looking clean.
Good riddance.
So that's out of there. But we'll probably see DBZ and Tekken 7 again. KOF 15. But no Marvel. Marvel will also not be back.
Good. If
Guys,
it should
you guys
only
have
be like
speculations on what the
KBR
next
teams.
intro game would be?
So
To be
for-
fair,
Go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead. Oh yeah. To be fair, I think Marvel 3 is again. It's in a spot where like every team is so optimized that no matter who you see on the screen, they're going to be killing off one touch. It's just basically a matter of entertainment and esports, right? And Zero is not an esports team, at least for spectators. Like obviously he's an esports team for winning, but for spectators, it's just so boring, you know.
Yeah. Agreed. So let's go to the last portion here. if you guys want to talk about your results or how you did in general, how you felt you did, or
Me.
if you what's it gonna take for you to go to Evo? Like, what are you waiting for to go next time?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
oh.
mean, oh yeah, go. Yeah.
I'll start first. This is my second year at Evo. Last year, I went 1 and 2 in KO, not Tekken 7, and I went 0 and 2 in KOF. I didn't invest that much in KOF, and as a result, I was playing like an absolute scrub. Um, and I invested a lot of time in uh, Tekken, but the results were just abysmal, and I just didn't feel like I didn't do well. And this year, I was going to play KOF, but then I decided to pick up some extra shifts, so I ended up being DQ'd. And also, I didn't play a lot of KOF because, matchmaking is garbage.
I
so
feel like it's
I,
an easy game to get rusty in too.
yeah, it also is a very easy game to get rusty. The UCLA what you call it, the thing they held,
The
like the
CBO.
geese combo. I didn't go for the reset. I just dropped the combo.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like that.
I mean, they gave you the
But-
benefit of the doubt, though.
Yeah, but still, I just DQ myself. But Tekken was a very different story, cause this one I was facing this Noctis player, and I could tell that he wasn't very good because he felt like he didn't play much. But because I got tournament nerves, I was put into losers bracket, and I just was not feeling it. I was just like, it's gonna be the same shit from like last year, until this one Tekken player, I think we went by LGS or LSG Snake, who is a Nino player, and he was just like, "Hey, dude, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Listen, I don't think I'm feeling it." It's like, dude, you're still in the game. You'll be fine. Just focus on the game. So yeah, I just try to uplift myself again. But this time, I was looking through Twitter, and I got some really helpful advice through a sticky note. A sticky note, right? And the approach to tournament is far different from like online, and it's that, I shit you not, everyone is a bitch until they're not, and adapt and stuff. So the entire portion of that was just me trying to abuse a lot of moves that are good until my opponent knows what's going on.
Hmm.
And you can feel like, and then I started just like I started excelling. Like the first match was this poor Armor King player who had like a mixed box. Unfortunately, like the moment I started playing aggressive, he was playing way too defensive. He just stopped moving, and yeah, I beat the shit out of him to the point where like I purposely dropped the combo so I can flex on him, and he didn't shake hands. He just like left, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." The second one actually gave me a challenge because this was an Alyssa player, and I hate playing against Alyssas, especially when they play gimmicks. And I just had to play very solid, and I beat the player, and I was like, "Oh wow, I'm getting somewhere." And then next thing you know, I played this Brian player, and this Brian player was unfortunately not that good. And he got like some counter hits, but I was just like, yeah, I can beat you. So I got him out, and then the last match before I could get out of pools and get the Chipotle card, yeah. uh, this guy was a Marduk player. Marduk is not just a DLC character; he thrives in 50/50s.
Yeah, super
And-
knowledge checky, super first to two character of the ages.
Who is?
Marduk.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, Eddie Gordo. No. And then like he was playing against a Hwoarang, and then this Hwoarang just like almost got close with him, but the Marduk won. So I'm just tripping because I face Marduk players, and man, if you get tackled, it's the end for you. You gotta guess correctly because that's their game plan. And this guy did not abuse his tackling mechanics. and I was just like trying to play, knowledge checks on this character, on this guy, and he wasn't too bad. He almost beat me, but I managed to stick through, and yeah, I I escaped round one pulls, and I was very proud of myself.
Nice, dude.
And
Storm Claymore coming through with the good mental.
yeah, and then day two I got cheesed out by the law player, and I was so salty. I was just like, this sucks. He wasn't even that good.
Mental.
But it was life changing. Like the entire 5 years I spent in this game, I finally broke free for once. Like this was just like monumental to me that I know that I can actually do it. I can actually win for once. And like I can taste fear in my opponent because tourney wise, it's a different feeling. Like you can get away with a lot of BS online, but when you're in tourney, that BS is not going to work for you. You either make it or break it, because you can play safe or you can play BS again, but not like online BS. So, yeah, that's my overall experience. Like this year, this year was great. So
Cool, good story. Karushi, how'd you do? Or sorry, you're about to pipe in there, EGP, inspired by the tech. Good ass Tekken.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, go for it, EGP.
Oh, I made it out of the round one pools in Tekken. I beat up Lakari to get out. I got my Chipotle card. I made like yesterday. I went to Chipotle, made the fattest burrito I've ever seen. I was like, all right, you guys aren't getting paid today. I did good I actually went 2-2 in plus R. I got 17th. I'm the 17th best plus R player in the world.
Hey, damn, that's pretty good.
No questions.
I'm not gonna ask how big the pool size was, of course.
I won't ask either. But Evil's cool. I feel like don't worry if you go 0-2 because I went like 1-2 last year. So don't even worry. You can get better. You just need to like spend a lot of time playing the game, study the game, and maybe drop out of work or school to get good. You
So
might have
easy.
to do. Yeah.
What a life plan. Karushi, how'd you do?
Yeah, I actually entered in 5 games at EVO before I took on the community showcase volunteering. So after doing that, I actually ended up dropping out of 4 of those games, but 2 of those games were not the dropout wasn't processed. So I ended up still playing in KO15 just because in the moment I was like, okay, I just might as well, right? I played against in my first match an opponent who was visually impaired, and he had a coach helping him. Like I think just for moral support and also just ensuring that he stayed focused and stuff. Even though like I hadn't practiced KO15 at all, like literally the last time I played it was during I think it was after CBBL, like in preparation for DreamHack. That was the last time I played the game. I actually played pretty well in game. I think it's that being said, right? But in my second round match, I played against Violent Kane, who's like one of Mexico's top players, and that was a body. So I like mentally I was like I don't really feel like playing my losers match, so I'm done. So I just DQ'd after that. And then I played in I played in VF, and VF was the game I knew I was going to stay in because it was on Friday, and that's a game I really like and wanted to get my first experience with the VF community in person, and it was as good as I expected it to be. I went 0-2, but the 2 people I played against were extremely sweet. Actually, I played my first match on stream, which I posted the VOD for some days ago. And that match, I took a look at it, and it seems like there's stuff I have to study if I want to get better at VF, right? But overall, considering it was pretty cool turkey, I think it went pretty well. See you, EGP.
Bye, EGP.
Yeah, in my losers round, my losers match, I got pretty washed, but it was just a playstyle I wasn't too familiar with. So, in that regard, I got what I deserved. I also entered in SF6, but didn't bother playing because I didn't want to be in that packed, claustrophobic environment. And I was supposed to have been dropped from that anyway, but that's a separate thing. And then Blaze Blue and Uniclair I entered, but of course those two, that was before I took on the community showcase stuff, and they were both happening at the same time. So they told us community showcase TOs can't enter their own game, so I couldn't play in Uniclair, and Blaze Blue happened at the same time, and there was just not enough time to both keep things under control for Uniclair and step away briefly to play my Blaze Blue matches. And also knowing that lately, Blaze Blue's been my best game, just in terms of performance wise. So I knew I probably would have won more than a few games in that game. So I was like, okay, I'll just drop. But overall, I had a lot of fun in the games I did play. I didn't really play any casuals because again, there just wasn't enough time on Saturday for that. And I didn't play in the arcade at all, but I shot a nice 4-minute video of just the scenery. It was cool seeing people play Gundam and all of that, but it was unfortunate regarding the cancellation of the BYOC tournament for Gundam. I think I touched on everything I wanted to for that. There's one more thing, I guess. So I before I crashed on Discord, I was talking about Mothman a little bit. I ran into him during his SF6 pool. Well, not ran into him. It was more so I was seeking him out because
He was stalking him.
Yeah, pretty much. I pinged him on Discord. I was like, "Where are you?" Like I did for pretty much everyone, right? But yeah, it was chill talking to him. He was actually wearing his CBL shirt that he won,
Whoa,
so that was
nice.
really cool.
Is that
Yeah,
esports shirt?
Yeah, he was really happy that he was really happy about participating in CBVL, and he was saying thanks and all of that. And he was also talking about how he felt about Marvel 3. Basically, he felt like he could make it out of round 2 pools, but then from then on, it would be a pretty difficult road. He actually still made it to top 40 and had a pretty strong showing. So
Yeah, he got to 25. That's pretty damn good.
Absolutely, and well deserved too, because he was grinding. That was definitely a game he put a lot of focus in. But that being said, I was asking him how he feels about balancing 3 games, and he said it's definitely hard. He feels like he's dropped off in KO 15, but at least he was able to focus a lot on SF6 and Marvel 3. So it seems like those two he's prioritizing.
Yeah, I have to assume for this he played mostly Marvel 3.
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of his comfort game, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those things aside, overall, the competition side of things, I wasn't able to fully enjoy it because I was helping out organizing, but it was still pretty fun. And of course, EVO as a whole was a blast, save for the issues that we talked about earlier. And just Vegas just being an overall awful place. Save for all of that, EVO was great.
I do have one thing to note about we do have visually impaired competitors. One was obviously Sven, the Street Fighter player.
Yeah, his match was really cool.
Yeah. And I actually in my bracket was I had a visually impaired player in my bracket that was running, and he was playing Guilty Gear Strive, and every time he wanted to when he was up, he would request for player 1, and the players, they're just all right, take player 1, because why would you deny said person? And yeah, he drowned in pools, but we didn't care. He stepped up to the plate and played. That was great. After he was done, I just went up to him listen, man, you did really well. I'm proud of you. We're all proud of you, and thanks for playing and stuff. Everyone was happy, man. And I wish Guilty Gear had accessibility options like Street Fighter 6, but you can only do so much for someone who just stepped up to the plate despite all the odds against him. So
Yeah,
it was very cool to see.
well said.
All right, well, I think that's about it. We EVO'd ourselves out. You guys are the true top 5. There's only 5 of us left. So I guess we'll see you in 2024. Thanks for chatting with us.
I will not be attending in 2024.
He's already decided.
Oh.
No more of this shit.
No, as in I will be doing externships in that time frame.
Busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
But-
better
well, we'll
run
all
better
observe
logistics.
Evo Day with a day off from work then.
But so as you may know, I am studying audiology, and I am a very, very huge advocate for hearing health. So hopefully, I'm gonna try asking with the Evo staff to bring in some, health specialists. I'm thinking of like people from my field because there's a lot of people and they're exposed to a lot of loud, um, environments, and giving them a good screening. Yeah, I think
that's
like
interesting.
I think gamers are a primary target for noise-induced exposure, and yeah, like maybe bringing a optometrist as well. I'll think of something because these gamers too loud, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try working with them.
I've never been able, but I suggest bringing concert grade earplugs. And for any luck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
But-
have some and they come in so
But then again, these are gamers who are not very experienced with hearing health. Like I'm gonna be real with you, like 2% of the population, no, I think 2 to 8% of the population have no experience in hearing health and healthcare. So this is a very important venue that I hold dearly in part of the health community and the gaming community that I feel that can help in the long run. So
Cool. So look out for your free Evo mufflers next year, courtesy of Storm Claymore. Well, thank you, Retro Rage, Storm Claymore, Rig Jace, and Karushi for joining. And then we had Lourdes and Senryoku earlier, and EGP Tekken, and whoever else I missed that might have popped in. So we'll call it here, and it was good chatting with you guys. This is it for Ursine Combo Lab episode 19, and we'll catch you next time.
yes. Take care, everyone. Good night.